disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. Just, I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
You just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lomito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need BDA boxing.
All right, this is King Bucho. Welcome to BDA Boxing, the boxing debate arena post-fight show, post-fight Sunday show. Yesterday, Mr. BDA hosted a post-fight show, but it was phone calls. He just took phone calls. Today, we're going to be talking with the panel, Jimmy, Gonzalo, and whoever else can jump in. And I guess we'll also take some more phone calls later on. And the last episode will be uploaded after this one. And I'm talking about uploaded on Spotify, iTunes, and all that shit. All right, let's get this party started. I'm going to start calling everyone here. But yeah, guys, it was a robbery. In my opinion, I don't know what you guys think. Actually, I posted a poll. We're going to read that poll. I posted it on the community section. So we'll see about that. All right, I'm calling everyone. Shout out to everybody in the chat, by the way. Shout out to Shadow Combat, Grim Reaper, Iron Fist, Shadow Anthony, I Be Killing, 3M, Get Some Rando, who else? Official Boxing Scorecard, who says he had it 9-3 Lomachenko. That sounds reasonable. Ronara, LDBC today acting like they didn't see what they seen. Interesting. I haven't seen what they've been saying. I'll probably check it out. All right, we have Gonzalo and Mr. BDA. Guys, jump in. The day after, you had some good sleep. Well, I don't know about Gonzalo, but what are your thoughts? Have they changed?
Watched the fight again. It was close, but you know what? Just because it was close doesn't mean that one guy got robbed. It's just like when you have a job and some dude just steals like a little bit of money every day so the boss won't find out. It's still robbery. For example, a dude taking $20 a day that we're in a company that's making thousands of dollars. Hey, the boss might not notice, but that doesn't mean that the person still ain't robbing. But here the consequences are greater in the sense that one guy moves on to bigger and better things for championship titles, and one guy loses, and it's like whatever. Next day they won't remember.
Right, and you know what really sucks, in my opinion, is that Lomachenko is 35 years old, and you know he doesn't have that much time left, and he should have won this fight, and this fight would have taken him to the next level. But now, because he got robbed, we don't know what can happen. Right now, we don't know if he's gonna get a rematch. He might start getting old. I mean, we've seen from fighters age from one fight to another, so he would be extremely disappointed if Lomachenko doesn't like he doesn't get his redemption. And by the way, he's one of the most impressive boxers I've ever seen. He's up there with Pacquiao, in my opinion, in terms of, I mean, he's not Pacquiao. He hasn't accomplished what Pacquiao has accomplished, but he's up there in terms of, like, when I'm watching him fight, I go like, whoa, what the fuck is this? Like, this is very impressive. So it's just disappointed, man. Yeah.
I just want to say, does this put to rest the whole Loma Doug Haney thing in 2019? Because we kept saying, first of all, it couldn't have happened because Haney was injured. They still could have, even despite the whole franchise thing, they could have sent him an offer, that being Lomachenko. And see, the whole point of why people were saying it wasn't a duck was because Loma had bigger fish to fry at 135 in the form of Teofimo Lopez, who was more accomplished than Devin Haney. Now, this Devin Haney at 21, back in 2019, his best opponent was Alfredo Santiago. That was a very competitive fight. I think Haney should. Do you think Haney should thank Lomachenko that he didn't fight him in 2019? Because if this 35-year-old version did this to a better Haney, what would have happened in 2019?
No, he's a much better. He's better than Haney. Even if Haney's much bigger, whatever, Lomachenko is better. He showed it yesterday. That's
Hey, you know, it's interesting because I'm looking at, usually I don't. The opinion of boxing experts can be wrong, so it's not infallible, right? It's not like, well, the expert said this, so he must be right. But when you have this many experts concurring with the opinion or what boxing fans witnessed, you combine those two things along with the CompuBox numbers, there was a pretty clear winner. People keep saying, well, it's just an opinion, boxing is subjective, the scoring is subjective. Yeah, but when one guy, the majority of people overwhelmingly saw one guy winning, and it's backed up by statistics too. It's not just, if you were to say, well, CompuBox says Lomachenko won and that's it, that's not a strong argument. But when you combine it with what people saw, especially people that know their boxing, educated boxing fans, experts, former fighters, current fighters, makes you wonder, all these people are saying that they are being emotional or biased. Maybe the minority is being biased. And may I also say one last thing here, because I don't want to take too much time. I know you guys got to talk too, but when people say, well, I was thinking about, well, maybe the body shots for Haney did the job, right? But then again, Lomachenko was walking through those body shots for most of the fight. And let's say the body shots took their toll in the 12th round. That's still an assumption. Everything I just said is an assumption. What's not an assumption is that the smaller fighter was walking the bigger guy down, landing the cleaner shots, the head-snapping shots, and CompuBox backs up the fact that he outlanded the younger fighter too. So that's a very strong argument as to why he won.
Yeah, and like you said also, that consensus outside the ring is that Lomachenko won the fight.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And every metric, even and the goggle meter, Lomachenko seemed to bully the dude around that tried to rough him up. He threw him off like a rag. The smaller dude proved to be the stronger dude. And the guy that kept claiming, well, you got to watch out for him because Lomachenko's dirty on the clinch, the one that was doing that was Devin Haney. So everything pretty much backfired. And when you looked up the CompuBox statistics to punches landed to the body, I even think Loma, I would have to count them, but they were close. One saying that needs to go away, man, that does a disservice to boxing is when they say it was a swing round and it was in the fight in general could have gone either way. That's fucking BS, man. To say that the fight could have gone either way is basically you saying, I'm going to pick the guy that I want and you'll just deal with it.
Exactly. And it could have gone either way, but none of the judges thought it could have gone either way, apparently. I mean, 115, 113, and they all gave Haney that 12th round, which is fine. But even if Lomachenko would have won that 12th round, it would have been a draw on two cards. So it would have been a majority draw. So he wasn't going to win on any of those cards, apparently. And then the other card, let's not even talk about that, 116, 112. So,
yeah. And they pretend like nobody know nothing about it. I mean, Bob Arum is old, okay? But the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Bob Bennett, which sounds like a douche. He's done things where he declines to comment when they steal the wraps away from Margarito. Anyways, he reminds me of Dr. Fauci. This old guard can't keep putting these old-ass decrepit judges to officiate fights when they're one step away from like dying on from like dying, because one day they're refereeing the fight, next day you come and find out they've been battling cancer for many years. Then they pass away. They're on a cognitive decline, just like Joe Biden's trying to referee a fight, trying to judge a fight.
Exactly. I mean, a judge needs to be aware, needs to be fully functional. He can't be old. I mean, let's just be so. I'm not saying. I mean, maybe you can still have your function. I mean, it's. No, you're bringing a good point here. You're bringing example. When are we gonna get new judges? When I mean, we have them, and then all of a sudden, like they're still judging, and then, like you said, we find out in the news, oh, they're dead. Like all of a sudden, they're dead, and they were still refereeing like a few weeks before that. Like, judging a few weeks before. So it doesn't make any sense. But that's Las Vegas. Like I said, Las Vegas is Sodom and Gomorrah. Boxing needs to get away from Las Vegas. It's toxic. That's why Floyd loved to fight there. By the way, go ahead, Mr. BA. Oh, I thought he
Oh,
was
that
gonna
was
say
me,
something.
Bucho.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Jimmy.
I was just going to say real quick
ahead.
on the judging. The reason why they haven't been able to attract new judging, because it's a dying sport. It's niche. Judging, all other judging come out of amateurs when we had a very vibrant amateur game in the United States. It's no longer the way. So because of that, the pool is drying up and there's no money in it in the beginning aspect. So there's no real reason to pull people into it. So you have this decrepit group of men who all have glasses on. And I watched that fight. I still got 20/20 vision. God bless. God thank you. You know what I mean? But I had to watch that fight 3 times. On a third time, I was still seeing shots that Loma was catching him with that left hand. Like, oh shit! That was because a few times I'd heard Tim go, he caught him with that left, and I'm like, damn, I didn't even see it. So you can't tell me, guys, I don't know if anybody's ever sat around ringside. They're literally horrible seats at the table. You got to look around the judge, the ref. You're looking between they're just terrible views. It's an archaic system to begin with. So I'm not going to really say so much these judges were corrupt as if they were paid, but they were inept. Absolutely inept. And I'll let you finish what you were saying, Gonzalo. I just wanted to talk about the judges real quick. Sorry.
No, I just threw that in there. Yeah. So I think I get the feeling that they're not sharp enough to really keep count of, especially like Lomachenko got the short arm. So he throws like these quick, deceptively fast punches, like with the short rate of return, on the inside. I don't think the judges are sharp enough to notice those punches. Because sometimes I'm watching it through my screen and I'm bringing real close attention. I miss those. So just think, a judge that's old as hell, needs glasses. There's a lot of people around you that could kind of be distracting, I assume. And from a position where they're not actually looking at from a bird's eye view, they're kind of on the downside. And maybe sometimes one guy's back is obstructing their view. They're not missing Lomachenko's short shots on the inside. Because obviously they're not watching the arms. They're watching Haney's back, in other words. And I'm thinking, well, those punches count, man, because those 1-2s and those 2-1s that Lomachenko lands, those punches and bunches, hey, they're scoring and they're landing hard, man.
I agree. But also, they're these judges, how come, okay, they got it wrong, but how come they always get it wrong they always favor the A side, though, for the most part? And, sometimes a lot of decisions they get right when there are fights that don't really matter. They're not big fights, but when it comes to this type of big fights, well, now they make a mistake, so it's kind of fishy, suspicious. By the way, official scorecard boxing, thank you for resubscribing to the BDA membership program. He says fake punch stats had Loma outlanding him by only 14 punches. I bet Lomachenko outlanded him by 100. A lot of mental gymnastics to justify the robbery. Yeah,
exactly.
Jimmy, Mr. BDA told me that you said that if you went for this show, this is the type of fights that make you not watch boxing.
I walked away from the sport in 2005, and I didn't watch another boxing match for 2011, 2013. Like, I was just done because of shit like this. I could see the writing on the wall, and I was literally done. And I was really like, it was only because of some shit that would happen. I got on Twitter, and I'm like, I just, gravitated to the sports side, and I found the convo better in boxing Twitter than in the NHL because it's kind of boring and whatnot. So that's what put me pulled back into that, was just the community of the people who follow boxing, not the sport itself. I've been over the sport for decades. Okay. And this last night proved it. And it's not even so much, it's the fucking reaction. It's the people who had an agenda, who wanted him to win. Now, like, oh, he won. Yeah, that's right. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. There's no. All right. First time he hurt him was in the 7th round. He had fucking, after he caught him, he did that stiff leg. His leg went stiff, and then like seeing someone walk downstairs and there was a longer stair, or he didn't think there was a stair there, and their leg kind of goes goofy. He had him hurt there. That's the first time he dove at Loma and grabbed him. And like to Gonzalo's point, it was Haney punching Loma in the back of the head on the clinches and shit like that. But okay, now here's my thing on the fight. Oh, well, let me start with this. My thing is this: you always refer to say, well, okay, if you want to sit back and say if someone who hasn't followed the sport that much, or maybe is a casual, you always kind of want to refer to people who would say has an educated opinion. And usually you start off with just fighters. You look at the fighters who were there, who were on record last night. Crawford, Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson. These are all fighters who picked Haney to win, who were there to support Haney. Like Crawford, he's my guy, right? And they're all like, well, Shakur the most. No, that was a straight robbery. He won 8-4. Listen, is it what they call, and I hate to use it, Kellerman, the story of the fight? The story of the fight was this. Haney had his mouth open, was questioning himself in the fucking corner, his abilities. He had the deer eyes going at one time. He was hurt on several occasions. Lomachenko landed the most punches, clearly landed the most effective punches. He pushed the pace. He was the ring general in the fucking ring. The fight was set at his pace. At the end of the fight, 9th, 10th, and 11th, he beat the shit out of fucking Haney. Beat the shit out.
Oh, did we lose Jimmy? Or is it me? All right, I think we lost Jimmy.
Jimmy fell off.
Yeah, Jimmy fell off. We're gonna wait for Jimmy to come back. Jimmy, if you can hear me, I can't hear you, so you need to restart. Yeah, basically, I'm reading some comments here. Never Sober says I hate boxing today. Other people say that we're crying. But like Jimmy was saying, Crawford, Shakur, Davis, Keyshawn Davis, they picked Lomachenko to win, and they thought Lomachenko won. And I remember, this caller, I think his name is Chris, saying that we were a little bit emotional because we were picking Lomachenko. But I mean, obviously, you can't say that all these people are emotional or a little bit emotional, because these are professional boxers. Some of them, I mean, they know what they saw. Right.
When Haney was landing in the beginning of the fight, Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward were riding hard for Devin Haney. Because when he landed, they were acting like that was freaking Golovkin landing. Obviously, I think that Devin Haney can't really punch like that he was never going to really trouble and hurt Lomachenko. So when he landed, they acted like he hit him with a ton of bricks. Oh, he got him. Like, yeah, really? So what's going to happen after that? You got him with one punch. Whoop-de-fucking-do. All right, maybe sometimes he landed two. And that was on the fucking, basically, he getting a little bit of get back when Lomachenko was pressing and landing first. So basically, that was it. And all of a sudden, you're going to, like really ride for him hard and make a big deal about it. Dude can't crack, dude. Okay, yeah, he scored a shot that's landing.
Yeah. Yeah, great point. What you mentioned.
By the way, we can't. We can't hear Jimmy. Jimmy, you jump out of the room here and jump back in. Hey, Bucho, can I read the super chat? They say something real quick. I don't want to take too much time from the other guys. Well, shout out to Mr. Michael Poe for his contribution with the super chat. He says, "Here's the comments that Bob is responsible, and I told everybody the promoter is the one who tells the judges what to do. Okay, they wanted this to happen," he says, and then he says, "And then the odds in the money and Bob Arum wanted it." Okay, so he's going with Bob Arum is the one that calls the shots. It's interesting. Shout out to Michael Poe for that. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say that not only Jimmy said that there's a lot of fighters and expert trainers who are concurring with what the masses saw, and then on top of that, we had picking Haney last night, or people that also profess to be Haney fans, and they're saying, "Look, they're being boxing fans, and they're saying, look, what I saw that night was Lomachenko clearly winning the fight. Also, I saw some LDBC channels calling it a robbery. So, I mean, I'm very surprised that they're being honest. Whereas then you see like scattered comments here or there of people saying, nah, man, Haney whooped him, Haney whooped him. But that goes against the grain of even the people that aren't calling this a robbery, who are saying that it was close. So you still have some maniacs out there claiming that Haney whooped him, that he won it clearly. Yeah, but I mean, again, I don't think people understand too that if they are okay with robberies, you're hurting boxing, because I'm seeing a lot of people saying, well, I'm not going to pay for pay-per-views anymore, especially now that it's so easy to just steal the fight. This hurts boxing. So I don't think the people that are trying to double down and say, nah, Haney won clearly, blah, blah, blah. I don't think they're really, and this is what we've been saying all along. They're not real boxing fans. And shout out to all the guys that are keeping it honest out there and saying, look, we saw this guy winning.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
BDA, but those people that are keeping it honest too, I get the feeling that it's okay for people to say to give like Loma the moral victory, but in the end, they rather maintain Haney winning because moving forward, it's better to preserve that narrative because then you could have it where Haney fights Shakur and you're saving that story of that fight for the future. Because nowadays they're catering to those people that are looking for those storylines. We saw it the week before with Rolando Romero. He bring nothing to the table. They give him a belt because supposedly he got this great personality that is good for boxing. So like now they kind of did it the same in a close fight. We'll just keep that story for the future because Lomachenko, he's on the tail end of his career and it doesn't serve us to use him for the big drama later on, so to speak.
In the chat, there's this guy called Mastermind96. He says, y'all wasn't crying when Harrison robbed Charlo. I don't even know if that was robbery.
Two fucking wrongs don't make it right, man. When something happened in a different fight, it has nothing to do. It's totally irrelevant when speaking about a different fight. That's some lame ass shit too.
Oh, wait a minute. How does he know we weren't saying robbery? He's just assuming that.
He's assuming. These people are not very smart. Official scorecard boxing science is not because Loma got robbed. I don't know what he's talking about. Sorry. Danny Fantasma says, I had Loma edging it out, but I also understood he was close. 116-112 was actually ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. 116-112. And then none of the other judges gives it at least a draw. They all go for Devin Haney. Suspicious.
Yeah,
By
that's
the way,
the big thing, though, the 116-112, that's the big point of contention. That's all.
Yeah. There's privilege in boxing. I mean, for those people who claim that there's racism in boxing and African American boxers don't get their fair share, they're out of their fucking minds. We're seeing it again, that they get more than their fair share. All right, they have privilege.
I was rewatching the fight, Bucho, and this was different compared to Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez. Actually, Lomachenko, he started off relatively fast, and those first few rounds were close. But if you're just going to automatically assume because the rounds are close, I'm just going to go ahead and give them to Devin Haney. Hey, that's fucking biased, fool. And you got 3 American referees, and they're just handing him the rounds when Lomachenko was in the fight. And you could have even had a 3-3.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, Bucho, sorry about that. I guess I dropped off, man. I carried on for another probably minute and a half before I realized.
Yeah, I kicked you out so you would anyways, go ahead.
No, but all right, so where was I? No, listen, I heard what you just said that some people in the same were crying. No, I'm not crying. In fact, the people who are saying that, find your stones, call in, and let's hear what you say and explain to me how Haney won that fight. And if you're going to say body shots, which half his punches were, like I said, why was it Lomachenko, the fresher guy? Why was he the one still pushing the pace? All right. And yeah, no, man, that whole thing, one of the things I hate the most, listen, I think I respect the people anybody who celebrates a fucking robbery, right? And again, a robbery, the semantics of a robbery is bullshit. I don't give a fuck whether it's a little or a lot. If you have a clear winner that doesn't get a decision, it's a robbery. Okay? So I don't want to hear, well, this wasn't exactly, it was a close fight, but no, it wasn't even that close of a fight. All right? Haney, you go back and look at the fight, he barely landed anything clean upstairs on fucking Loma. You half his punches were body. It's shocking to me to see, because what I saw on display last night was a 35-year-old kid that everybody had counted out. Vegas had the 3-1 underdog, which should have told you something there right away. I personally think these old fucking clown judges are arithmetic control, like they think, okay, well, Americans, everybody should want the American to win. So if we're going to give the swing rounds, give it to the American.
I think so.
But again, the thing, yeah, exactly. And the thing I like is what I saw, an old timer, right? 35 years old. People are counting him out, and he must have busted his balls to outwork the bigger, younger, by 11 years, fresher guy. And at the end of the fight, anybody's going to tell me you'd rather have been Haney, who was breathing with his mouth open, who was sitting in his corner, questioning what he was doing. He goes to his son, Father, how you doing? How you feeling? Right? Oh, great. And he looks at the camera, and then he tries to talk quieter. Listen, he had taken that kid's soul by the 10th round. Okay, nobody even bought Doc when he read the ref was kind of like looked at Loma for a split second, then looked over and then raised Haney's hand. He was surprised they gave that fucking fight to him. Nobody's going to convince me, and I don't give it. Listen, going into the Ward Kovalev fight, the first one, I picked Ward to win that first fight. I was wrong. Kovalev won that fight. I didn't celebrate it. I wouldn't have said, oh, yeah, Kovalev won, because I have what's called integrity. Like, I like the sport ahead of the fighters, and I like what I saw in a 34-year-old talented kid who put it all together last night, and he beat that fucking kid, and they stole it from him. Okay, Bob Arum, too, another thing. People blame Bob Arum thinking he might have had his hand on this. I don't know if you guys saw the video, because they had him mic'd up. Bob, when he saw Loma, he said, like something, I don't know if he said this guy, it's a shame. He goes, you won that fight easy. And then when Klimas walked by, he goes, your kid won that fight easy. Okay? So it wasn't Bob. He didn't, because he was clearly disgusted by that fucking decision too. Lomachenko won that fight. Point blank period. They robbed him. I don't want to play the semantics game, but I'll let whatever. If you got something to say, I'll shut.
I'll just read two super chats. Nicolas Argyros, where he says, rewatched. Round 11 could have been 10-8. Outlanded 20-2. Damn. I mean, you can give 10-8 rounds even if there's not a knockdown. So I think that should be done more often, in my opinion. Jaden, Anthony, thank you for your contribution. He says, wasn't a robbery. Wasn't a clear win for Haney either. I had it 6-6 with the volume off, scoring it objectively. Thought Haney would. He says, thought Haney would win, but saw a draw.
Of course. So the guy who picked Haney to win saw a draw.
Yeah, exactly. This is and none of the judges, you know what I mean? Jimmy, none of the three professional, experienced judges gave it a draw or gave it to Lomachenko. And one had it 116-112.
Right. And I'd ask that kid who just said that, who was picking Haney, what about the professional fighters, the guys who were there, who publicly said going into the fight, they said Haney's going to win. Crawford was there supporting him. Fucking Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, all of them picked Haney to win. And they all said it was a robbery. Yeah. Straight up robbery. 8-4 Lomachenko. Okay? Every professional fighter is calling it a robbery, 8-4. So you can tell us that you scored it objectively. You show me the 6 rounds that you think Haney objectively won. Please.
Yeah, and there's this notion that you gotta beat the champion to take away his titles. But there's one key word. When they talk about the last rounds, they call those the championship rounds. You tell me who won the championship rounds. And I say this to say that because every round should be scored individually, and it's all the same, really, in the end. But if the championship rounds, Lomachenko won them, what can you say about the first few rounds? Hey, you could split those half and half. All them swing rounds don't have to necessarily go to Haney, because that's where the robbery comes in.
It's a coincidence. It's a coincidence. Exactly. I mean, that's the best you could say. Exactly. I mean, it's a fucking coincidence.
But that's a great point from Gonzalo right there. And it's interesting, though, because let's say Bob Arum and Top Rank, they're claiming robbery, but at the same time, they still, fix this so that Haney would get the decision. This still hurts Haney more, though, because I said this before the Canelo-Bivol fight. I said, look, I don't think they're going to give Canelo any of the benefit of that in this fight because he's gotten it already before. Way too much benefit of the doubt, bad decisions against an A-side fighter eventually hurts him more than if he actually just takes a loss. And it's true. He took the loss to Bivol, and he didn't really lose that much star power. With Haney here, this is hurting his career. This is hurting his image. The boxing fans, that's what counts. And they're looking at this and they're saying, what the fuck? Also, I want to reiterate this. Just quoting experts usually is not an infallible way to win an argument. But I repeat, when it concurs with what the majority of fans saw and what CompuBox said happened as well, it's a pretty strong argument about who clearly won the fight.
Mr. BDA, robbery was trending on fucking Twitter. Robbery. Lomachenko got robbed was trending on Twitter. I mean, I saw one poll, I think it was 17,000 people polled. 87% had Lomachenko winning. So if you're saying Haney won or it was a draw, you were in a very, very small minority of people. Just telling you that right now.
Interesting. That's interesting, Jimmy. I mean, yeah, that's again.
Are they all haters?
It's the overwhelming majority.
Are they all haters? No, go ahead, Mr. BDA.
What did you ask? I said something. You said
Are
something
they all
like,
haters? Are they all
haters?
emotional?
I mean,
Everybody who
that's-
picked Lomachenko, like, is that what happened?
But guys, even big LDBC channels are calling it robbery. I mean, these people. I'm very surprised they're keeping it honest. You gotta assume that something happened here, where the majority of experts, YouTubers, regular boxing everybody's most of the people saw one thing.
Not a coincidence. The Theological Handyman, thank you for your contribution. He says, Devin Haney has no clear rounds the entire fight. He never threw combinations, one punch at a time, like he's a Canelo with no power. Tank KO him quick. Well,
He couldn't, and even told his father he couldn't implement a plan because he wanted to go to the left. He said, I can't go to the left because Loma was cutting it off, although Loma couldn't get around in that side because of his length. But who was the one hurt? At any time, can you tell me Lomachenko was hurt either to the body or the head? He had Haney on Bambi legs twice. 3 times he had to reach out for dear life and grab him to try to stop the onslaught. I mean, please, when you have other black American fighters there saying straight up, 8-4 Lomachenko.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about a dude who's been watching boxing for fucking 3 years, who the guy they wanted to win. Well, I picked it a draw. I'm not saying that dude who just did that said that, but I just know where this is coming from. And I'm angry not because of the fighters, because what they're doing to the sport that my family fucking has been deeply involved with for over a century. They've turned it into a fucking joke.
Jimmy, and Lomachenko's much smaller. And managed to push Haney all the way back to the ropes. It was, I mean, like you said, this is something Larry Merchant, I think, used to say. Who do you want to be in the fight? If you could be one boxer, who would? And that would tell you who's like dominating, right? I wouldn't have liked to beat Devin Haney yesterday night. I would have preferred to be Lomachenko.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Right. Let me just read a super chat.
Absolutely terrible.
Dennis F. from Boston says, DraftKings live betting odds going... Okay, hold on. DraftKings live betting odds going into the 12th round had Lomachenko 5-1 favorite, meaning Haney needs to KO to win. Lost big, I was robbed too. Interesting. So those that betting, DraftKings, they had Lomachenko basically. They thought he was going to win going into
5-1.
Yeah. 5-1.
Going into the fight.
They're trying to attract all these people to bet on. Oh, can you believe that? That's a great super chat, Dennis. And Jim, another one. Nicholas, thank you for your contribution. He says even black people said it was a robbery. Well, it's not about black. It's more like the biased one. The LDBC, I call them. They actually even apparently are saying that it was a robbery. Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was going to say, great point by Dennis. I'm glad he brought that up. Going into the fight, they had him a 3-1 favorite. Going into the 12th, they had Loma 5-1, meaning Haney needed to stop him to win the fight. Kellerman, okay, freaking Kriegel had Loma winning 7-5. Steve Kim, I believe I had him winning 7-5. Kevin Iole, anybody? I've been trying to see who was around the ring. Nobody gave that fight to Haney. Nobody. So, and these are people whose opinion I respect around the game for decades. And they're like, fucking, yeah, no, Loma won that fight. Because of the fact, like you said, the smaller guy, 11 years his senior, okay, put it together. Like fucking caught him with lefts all night with that straight shot to the left, snapping his fucking head back. Hurt him on several occasions. But you're going to tell me fucking a guy who's half his fucking punch totals were body shots catching him off the fucking side of his arms. What's won him the fight? Come on.
All of a sudden, they love body shots. For the longest time, some of these guys they don't count body shots. They don't count. All of a sudden now, he landed some body shots that really didn't land all the time. Phil Miles has a question for you, Jimmy, or a statement. He says, dude, you're talking about your family going back 100 years. There was actual fixes back then. This was just a close fight. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh boy, you got me. Yeah, thanks for putting me in my place. Well, no, genius. What I mean is I've had my family been in it. cousin was on the front cover of Ring magazine in 1929. So my family's been in and around the sport. Yeah, there was fixed fights, but it wasn't the trash that we're getting today. Okay, boxing back then was also the #1 sport in the country. Now it's a niche sport that is literally dying. And do you think this helps it? You should see what the MMA people were saying. It wasn't a close fight. It was a close fight. Yeah, I'd say close fight in some rounds, but there was a clear winner. And when you got Haney supporters who are boxers, professional fighters, saying 8-4, does that sound like a close fight? It sounds to me like you wanted Haney to win, and you're one of them dudes are going to celebrate a fucking robbery. So.
Good one. LDBC's
Well,
most wanted. Thank you.
That guy who said that should have spent more time explaining why he felt it wasn't a robbery instead of saying there were fixes before, so this one's okay. I mean, just work on your argument instead of talking about inane things. Like, again, I want to hear why people felt Haney clearly won this fight. And again, this kind of hurts boxing, man. I mean, I've seen so many people, again, UFC fighters, okay, I don't really put too much stock in what they're saying. But like I said, experts, the majority of boxing fans, CompuBox backing up what most of us saw happen. I mean, like I said, I just shudder to think what Loma would have done to Haney back in 2019. I guess, Jimmy, you remember that video we did? I guess that puts all of that to rest, man. What would have happened in 2019?
Yeah, he would have beat the fucking dog shit out of him back when he was 20 and he was calling Loma out. He would have fucking beat him like a rented mule. He would have stopped him by the 5th or 6th round. It's asinine. Yeah, don't call in. You can throw your ad hominem attacks and, you know what I mean, say what you want. But why don't you call in and explain exactly what you saw Haney doing there that made you think that he deserved or that was a draw? And if you're going to say those body shots, you better show me body shots that I didn't see happen. Because if there were that many body shots, why didn't it slow Loma down? Why was he the one pushing the pace?
Exactly.
How was he backing up the younger, bigger man?
Haney looked like he was in trouble in a lot of moments in that fight. By the way, the LDBC's most wanted says, Devin said he'd never lose to a white boy, then turns around and loses to a white boy. Shakur takes Devin Haney to school. Yeah, we're going to talk about the future after. What we think should happen.
Unfortunately, he won't fight. He's not going to fight Shakur. He knows that. And you see, as he ran out of the ring, and even Shakur's like, I don't think he's a coward, but he ran out of the ring because he got booed out of his hometown ring. That was a partisan crowd, I would say 50-50 going in because Vegas is his hometown. He's an American. By the end of that fucking fight, that was a room full of Lomachenko fans who booed Haney out of the ring. That's why he ran out of that fucking place like that. And even Shakur, Shakur said that. It's like he fucking ran, they booed him out of the ring. Because he lost that fight. Everybody saw it.
He did run out of the ring. I noticed. He didn't even stay there. Like, hey, man, Devin Haney just won. Stay in the ring, continue, promote your next fight, This guy knew he didn't even win. So he just, okay, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I don't want to. Imagine he stays in the ring and then Shakur comes over and then, like, Haney says, yeah, we're gonna fight next, when they don't really want to fight him next. So he didn't want to make any commitments. By the way, yes.
Can I say I don't know if, because people are saying, well, Shakur Stevenson washes Haney. I don't know, because Haney still held his own in some of the exchanges against Lomachenko. So for people now to think that Shakur Stevenson is going to wash him 12-0 when Oscar Valdez who's not even known for his straight shots, was catching Shakur Stevenson with good right hands and could have actually done more in that fight, but then I think Haney's straighter shots might cause him more trouble. But I don't know. We'll talk about.
And Valdez, who's Shakur's biggest win, didn't even look that great yesterday in a 12-rounder. So I mean, Shakur isn't Jesus Christ either, right? So let's calm down.
He's not. He's not, dude. But I would honestly say I'd agree that he would absolutely wash Haney because he's taller and because of that length he has. And his jab and his timing and speed, I think he would. But this way, they're not going to fight him. And I'll tell you right now, you know what words you're not going to hear come out of the Haney camp from his father, who I'm sure is going to spend whatever time he wants. I hope they kind of push back a little on the LDBC. But he's going to go on and talk about how his son was dominant with the body punches. Then run it back. Run it back. Why don't you stay in the ring and go, yeah, okay, listening to the crowd booing me, booing my decision. So why don't you say, man, yeah, we should run this back? Because obviously, clearly, the fans don't think I won. So being a man of integrity, right? Let's run it back. You think he's gonna run that shit back? That motherfucker would jump in front of a train
I
before he
think
fought Lomachenko again.
Bill Haney doesn't want a rematch. That's what I saw somewhere. He's not interested in a
Of course
rematch.
he doesn't.
So yeah,
he doesn't.
the thing, the ethical thing to do would be to give Lomachenko a rematch. By the way, in the chat, David Gold says so many people up here upset the black fighter won, and he's laughing. And then we have a super chat from Almighty Don't Like Nobody. He says, welcome to the woke era of boxing. Canelo should stay away from the LDBC supported fighters. Interesting comment. Guys, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
Yeah, that's a great take. Yeah, we don't want the fucking. That's so funny too, because that reminds me, I got to go to a cross burning tonight. Shut the fuck up, you room temperature fucking IQ zip ahead.
But you know what? Since
black fight, come on.
I expected a couple more trolls. I'm not seeing them out in effect. So even they're finding it hard to troll based on what we saw last night. I mean, it's really quite telling the coping that's going on there with those Haney trolls. But I will say this though, it's interesting. You say they're not gonna do the rematch. Now I'm curious: is Haney even gonna stay at 135?
He goes up to 140, he's going to get his fucking head caved in. I'll tell you that right now. Those guys are bigger and hit harder. And the thing is about the boxing used to always be fixed, but the boxing used to be run by the mob, and nothing the mob liked better than a fight that generates bets. And I'll tell you right now, that fight, they'd be fighting again in about 12 weeks from now. 16 weeks tops, they would be running this fight back. The mob would say, oh, we're running this one back. It's a gold mine. But he isn't going to run it back. No fucking way. Jump off a building and set himself on fire in case he survived the fall before he'd fight Lomachenko again.
Yeah, he heard his brand. His name didn't get bigger. He's probably he's not more popular than he was. He's more hated. And he's going to try to pick and choose opponents at 140. And he said, I'm going to keep the titles at 35. If it doesn't work out at 40 for whatever reason, I can go ahead and fight for my titles at 35 again. So he's going to try to pick and choose opponents, but you got to be a name to do that. You got to command attention. If you're a guy that's already hated, you're basically moving just to like try to see where you can make it big, but nobody really cares.
And you know what is interesting about that, Gonzalo, is that you know it's the A side, like Bucho said. It's the one that always gets the egregious scorecards. It's rarely the underdog. I think that's very telling too. Shout out to Matlazinka for his contribution to Super Chat. He says this affirmative action in boxing turns away non-black fans. Too many of their people are not men of honor. Some would argue not even men. Well, I mean, listen, like I said, I got to give a lot of them credit, and it's not mine to give, but I'm just saying I had a lot of Haney fans calling in last night saying, yeah, Lomachenko won. So I think maybe I overrated this whole thing about the LDBC, because even, like I said, even LDBC channels, big ones, are saying Lomachenko got robbed.
This isn't really a race thing for a lot of people, because, again, a lot of African-American fighters gave it to Haney. Sorry, to Haney,
exactly,
to
yeah.
Lomachenko. So, yeah, it's not really a race.
Yeah, I'm surprised though. So maybe we did overrate the whole thing a little bit. But can I also say something about when Haney? Well, look, when the guy who gets the gift decision, he's always going to get hate from boxing fans, and he's always, you're always going to hear Haney robbed Lomachenko. I really doubt that the Haneys were the ones that paid him off. So the fighter who gets the gift decision is always in a difficult position. The only thing they can really do to save face is say a couple of things. One, they can say, well, it was a close fight and give the other guy props, and B, say we can run it back. The Haneys are choosing to go the other route. They're saying no rematch, and they're saying they clearly won the fight. They're doubling down, and to the point where Bill Haney said that his son is now pound for pound number one. So those are the type of things that only add fuel to the fire when it comes to bad decisions.
And his push the night before, like I said, that was done out of nerves. He was trying to psych himself up, and so he pushed him like I heard about it when I was on the show, so I didn't see it. I didn't realize how violent he pushed him. Like, you could have gave him whiplash. You're like, remember if you put the fight in jeopardy? Like, what a jackass move. So that really fucking, so yeah, there's no way coming out of that fight, in BoxRec, to the BoxRec heroes who live by that fucking garbage, they got something to say. But to everybody else, the story of the fight, the theme of that fight, Lomachenko got robbed, and Haney's stock did not rise at all. Because if anybody thinks coming out of that fight that he has a chance to beat fucking Shakur, they're high.
Yeah,
Guys,
I get the sense that he's not even liked by most of the black community because he kind of acts like he's white. He probably plays hacky sack with the white people, with the white kids.
Listen
Like, I
to
don't know, when he was in
Chili
school or
Peppers.
something. The way he dresses. And I think it's also because you have other black Americans that are better than he is.
Yes.
And they're not as cringe that you can always root for those guys instead of him. So they're probably saying, F this guy. We got Tank Davis and we got, who's the other guy? Shakur.
Yeah. In the lightweight
Well,
division.
I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I mean, everybody's entitled. You got free will to pick whoever you want, especially if he's your race. Hey, go ahead. But what I'm saying, this fucking fight, I don't think he deserved to win it.
Mm-hmm.
No. And Gonzalo, it's not just that it was black American fighters. There were black American fighters who were there in support of Haney, who were there, who said prior to the fight, oh, who do you got win? Oh, I got Haney's going to win this. He's the young, the youth. Blah, blah, blah. For them, and I say nothing but props to Keyshawn and to Shakur.
I mean, Shakur said it in the ring, Jimmy.
Shakur in the ring in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly. Without hesitation, too, like Haymanites tweeted out. Without hesitation. It was, oh, look, that, you know, and then somebody asked him behind the scenes when he was, and he said, so how did you score that fight? Well, it was a close fight, though. It wasn't a robbery. He goes, and right away, Shakur goes, nah, that was a robbery. Fucking Loma won that fight easy, 8-4. Like, because easy, like, he clearly landed the more effective punches, okay? Loma was never hurt to the body or the head. Haney was hurt on multiple occasions.
It's because you know what? Lomachenko really, what those people are telling you, Keyshawn Davis Lomachenko boxed beautifully. And you cannot cover the sun with your thumb. There's a saying in Spanish. He boxed beautifully, and they like boxing. And when you take it away from one guy, when the fight is close like that, but with the wrong guy won, you gave it to that guy. It kind of leaves like a bad taste.
Exactly. Good point. And by the way, can I just say something? It's just my opinion, obviously. I think Shakur looked pretty happy after the fight. I think he's happy because he's confident after what he saw that he can become the undisputed champion without much difficulty. Or that it's actually, you know what I mean? Because he believed, well, you know what? The smaller Lomachenko beat, in my opinion, Devin Haney. Obviously, it's different styles and everything, but if the smaller guy managed to do that, I'm pretty sure I can take on Devin Haney and become the undisputed champion.
And without a doubt, you made an excellent point, Bucho. And Haney, say if there was an honest decision last night, say they gave that to Loma 7-5. Coming out of that fight, people would have said, wow, Haney, you know, he fought a pretty good fight. You know, honestly, I thought he even did a little better than I thought he could do. I mean, I really went along with BDA. We studied the film. I saw the openings. I saw the things that Loma could capitalize on, and he did capitalize on them. Once you got past a certain area, Haney has no inside game whatsoever. You pass that point of his length, and he doesn't know what to do. He gets confused. I mean, he was like flailing around every time he started getting hit. I still don't think he takes a good shot. A big shot good either, because he was rocked a few times.
No, like somebody said,
garbage.
Moving up to 140 is going to be very dangerous for Devin Haney. But let's. There's a comment here from Bentley Sports. He says, "We all know it was a robbery, but can we take anything positive from last night? Can we take anything positive, guys?"
No, I don't. Personally, I don't. What do I take positive from that? You destroyed that kid's fucking dreams. All right, you set the sport back. Okay, yeah, it was a great, interesting fight. You know, again, that could have been the story of the fight coming out. You know, Haney, the younger man, was beaten by the more talented, experienced fighter who had the more will that night. But Haney still would have come out of that fight looking good. Instead, right now, he's a pariah. Wait till he starts tweeting. He'll see. But again, instead of coming right out and saying the first tweet should be, you know what? I can clearly see most people thought I lost that fight. I personally think I won, but I'll tell you what, we'll run that shit back. Let's do it again right away. They could run that back in 16 weeks. You think they'd do it? Like I said, he would jump out of a fucking window and light himself on fire in case the fucking fall didn't kill him before he would fight Lomachenko again.
Jimmy, it was an exciting.
what?
It was an exciting. It was a controversial fight. Again, like you said, why not have a rematch? Why not? They should be calling for a rematch. Go ahead,
Exactly.
Mr. BDA.
No, you're right, man. You and Jimmy are right. Why not a rematch? I suspect Haney's going to move up to 140 now, though. I will say one positive from all of this is, that I'm seeing a lot of my faith in boxing, or boxing fans rather, the boxing community is restored. Yes, we got another bad decision, which is on par with what we've come to expect from boxing since we've been watching it for a long time. But I do have faith in the boxing community now because a lot, like I said, some LDBC channels are saying it was a robbery, and they're big channels. I have to find out who they are because it's on the Discord. Somebody posted them, but it's interesting, yeah, man. And also that there were Haney fans calling in last night saying, yeah, man, look, I picked Haney and I was rooting for Haney, but I didn't see him winning. I can't see how he won. So there is some faith in people. I think that maybe now the racial tension can decrease a little bit. Maybe the mainstream media is losing power in fermenting a race war because they've been trying to ferment a race war. So maybe that's what we're seeing. We're seeing some detente here. And it's again, I'm hardened to see. It's interesting to see that people are indeed being honest and watching boxing and being boxing fans before anything else.
Absolutely.
I'm not too sure, BDA. I'm not too sure because it's like okay, Lomachenko, you get your nice little pat in the back, you get the moral victory, but in the end of the day, okay, Haney wins, and that's what matters.
Right.
For a lot of people because
Officially,
that's important for the narrative. Shakur Haney, which I don't think that's a big fight either. But it's like that guy that goes visits you, gives you like these underhanded compliments, but really he's just seeing what type of life you live. Then later he's gonna say something stupid. But in the beginning, he tries to like pat you on the back.
Yeah, can I just say this?
Yes,
BDA, say this? I just want to clarify real quick. Yeah, because the question was, can we glean anything positive out of this? And that's what I was saying. But yeah, obviously that's not the big. The question wasn't what's the big thing you're getting out of this. The question was, is there anything positive? And that's the only positive I can see. Everything else, Gonzalo, I agree with you. It's the big story here is boxing does it again, screwing over a fighter and screwing over the fans too, because this hurts boxing down the stretch. That's all I want to say.
Especially because boxing,
you would have to be. You would have to, if you don't like what Lomachenko, like the type of fight he gave and the type of person that he how he carries himself, you would have to be totally evil. And not most of the people in the world, they're not necessarily evil. It's only like very few. But that doesn't mean that the people that are not evil are like necessarily right either. No, they could be wrong because this is a fucking sport. Some are wrong, some are right. But Lomachenko, I mean, come on, man. I think he did enough. Still a robbery in my eyes.
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree with you.
If somebody, like I said, if somebody comes up, sticks a gun in your face and robs you of your cash out of your pocket or smashes your car window and takes the change out of your console, they robbed you. The degree of it is just a fucking semantics game.
Of course.
Loma clearly won that fight. They didn't give him the decision. It's a robbery.
Whether you rob a bank or a pack of gum, it's the same shit. Like, it's robbery. By the way, Will, the degenerate boxing fan Lynch, thank you for your contribution. Really appreciate it. He says, it wasn't a blatant robbery. This is a problem that's been going on for a long time in boxing. Judging boxing needs fix. I think he says judging needs fixing. I think now people will take it more seriously moving forward.
No.
Well,
come on, what are they going to say? What are they going to say? Devin Haney won by a nose? Because he got a big ass fucking nose. He didn't win. This ain't fucking horse racing.
Exactly.
And Will Degenerate, I like I see some of the stuff he tweets. I like him, and yes, it wasn't like a robbery where like the guy won 10-2 and they gave it to hey. But I'd like to ask Will, who does he think won the fight? And if he says, oh, well, Lomachenko won the fight, then it's a robbery. If you feel there's a clear winner and that person didn't get the win, it's a robbery. And again, I can't stress that enough. And again, to credit to all of them for Black American fighters who tend to stick together, they tend to be tribalistic, for them to come out and emphatically say Lomachenko clearly won that fight. I don't want to hear from some house painter from fucking Wichita who started following the box 3 minutes ago about you just angry.
Yeah, exactly. But like Gonzalo said, it could have gone into the way. No, like you said, Gonzalo, it could have. Some people are going like, well, it would have gone either way, therefore it's fine. It's not. It couldn't go, like this is the excuse they're coming up with, the cop out type of thing. It could have gone either way, you know.
It's
How?
because Haney, ever since like I can remember going back this press conference, even before this recent fight and everything that was said prior, everything that comes out of that kid's mouth is fucking BS. It's bullshit. It's lies. It's phony. So when you got a guy that phony, that it's like that girlfriend that never seems to say the fucking right thing, always fucking up. Like, dude, nothing out that comes out of a dude's mouth is ever fucking correct. So how can he fucking people like him? That's why he's unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, everything he going into the fight was lies. His lies about Haney, Loma ducked him once he became WBC #1. It's just absurd. It's just factually absurd. And then the whole well for 4 years. Dude, a year before you got that fucking email belt, you were a prospect and nobody was even daring mentioning your name with him. So it was another 3 years on top of that? Fuck out of here, dude.
All right, guys.
And even if you want to break it down, Jimmy, if you want to break it down by boxing metrics, nothing. He didn't win any of the categories. You would have to like really like okay. Oh, the body. What about the body punching? Yeah, because when other people land body shots, they don't count. But everything else, CompuBox, who hurt who? You guys know.
Yeah, Gonzalo, great point. Even on the 3 categories, he doesn't win, and then you have to like reach and look at what about the body shots? Like trying to find some reason as to why you had Devin Haney winning. By the way, guys, please hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. We have like 335 people watching, and we only have, I believe, 82 likes. Let's get that to 100 at least. Come on. And
even like I already mentioned this, but I'm gonna say it again. Even on the doggo meter. Lomachenko showed more heart. He had the real dog, and the things that Haney claimed that Lomachenko was gonna do, he did. He got warned 2 times by Harvey Dock. He was the one tying up, punching on the break. Lomachenko was wrestling him off him because he proved to be stronger. All those categories he went to. So nothing this kid ever said, he backed it up.
Good point. Warped Speed, thank you for your contribution. He says, I think Lomachenko won, but did he live to the hype? He says, yes. What hype? Are you talking about the excitement of the fight? Or actually, I think the fight was more exciting than I thought it would be. And by the way, guys, the referee, did you like the referee?
Yeah, he did a great job. He did a great job because
I have no
he hardly got involved.
Exactly. Good point, Gonzalo. If you don't notice, like same in every sport, the best umpires, the best referees in hockey are the ones you don't notice them there. They don't try to put their imprint on the fight. They don't want to be a part of the fight. If you're a part of the fucking language of that fight, you did a bad job. So yeah, no, without a doubt. And again, my thing is this: you just tell me one aspect of that fight, how you rate the fucking criteria. On top of the fact that CompuBox, Lomachenko landed the most fucking shots, and they were the ones to the head, which everybody, even judges, score better than body shots. Traditionally, forever have scored body shots lesser because it's a bigger target to hit. And it's hard to judge whether you caught somebody good to the body or a body shot to the arm is not the same to a straight left to the face that slams the dude's head back, and a little guy who has to make it across this. But the point is, he was the ring general. He set the pace of the fight. He was pushing the bigger man around. He, again, set the pace, landed the cleanest shots. Going into the last round, he was a Vegas 5-1 odd, so he had to actually knock him out to win, and they robbed him. They just snatched the fucking victory that he trained so hard for from the kid to give it to the American. And it did Haney no favors. And he can have a handful of vile Twitter trolls who run their fucking mouth behind a screen. That don't mean shit.
Jimmy, how bad did you feel when you saw Lomachenko cry?
My heart was broken for the kid because those weren't fucking crocodile tears. That was an emotional breakdown. Because I know how hard he had to train. 35. People don't realize younger guys, the smaller guys rather, they age quicker. Gonzalo can speak to that. You guys can speak to that. They age faster than the bigger guys because the work rate is a lot more heavier, and then your reflexes are more important for the smaller guys. So they traditionally, like even 20 years ago, a 35-year-old would have been ancient. You didn't even see them. They were usually out of the game by 30, 31 years old. So for a 35-year-old, much smaller man to go in there and take the heart from that kid, and make no mistake, he went back to that corner at the end of the 10th fucking round with his eyes the size of saucers. He didn't know whether shit to go blind. He had no answers for what Loma was doing in there. And that's the reasons he's not going to run it back, because he doesn't have the abilities to make the adjustments needed to stop what fucking Lomachenko can do.
Good
Yeah.
point.
I mean, Lomachenko, I'm just going to say he was a little marked up because Devin Haney got that stinging power. He don't got like no thudding power. But you could see that Lomachenko was very lucid. Nothing like he had a headache or anything. He was obviously sad. But when they were asking him questions, he was like, okay, like he could do this. I don't think he got worn down by this fight. So moving forward, he can fight again. But it really affects his record with 17 wins and 3 losses now. I know he's a future Hall of Famer, but man, I wish his record were more padded because once again, you know, the layman's and the casuals will be like, oh, look, he's lost 3 times. But break down those losses, man.
Yeah.
I don't
good
think he
point.
deserved to lose
that's-
this one.
No, he didn't. By the way, this super chat here. A big super chat. Thank you, Will, the Degenerate Boxing again. He says Lomachenko won, but I also remember when they said Shokichi got robbed in his own country against Gonzalez and the cards for the Consensual versus Valdez. Remember when Beterbiev was down on the cards against Yard? Yes. So I'm trying to figure out here, but I also remember when they said Shoshinki got robbed in his own country against Gonzalez and the cards for the Consensual versus Valdez. Remember?
No,
Who's
Shoshinki.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
mean,
getting. Yeah.
you can't say because something happened before that it justifies what happened now. No 2 things are alike, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's trying to say there's always I mean, yes, there's always been robberies, obviously, and we always complain when there's a major robbery. I mean, this isn't the first. It's not like we're complaining for the first time, right? We keep seeing robberies and robberies and robberies, but we just had this robbery happen yesterday night, so we're gonna talk about this robbery. All right, that's what's happening here. Of course, there's
And when
gonna
you
continue
have
to be
const-
robberies.
when-
Yes.
And when you have constantly the same, check out the track record. Kovalev against Ward, right? Who lost? Who got the robbery? Fucking Kovalev lost. Well, he got robbed. Eastern European, right? Or Russian rather. You got Triple G against Canelo. The Ukraine, whatever Kyrgyzstan kid lost. Now Lomachenko last night. They've been fucking over the Europeans, the Eastern Europeans, nonstop. They're always the victim of the robberies against the American fighter. But yet we complain about don't go to England and fight the English fighters because you get robbed there. Those fucking 70-year-old half-tods who judged that fight probably didn't even see half the punches Lomachenko landed. That's why they should have.
Yeah.
You know?
Correct.
Oh, Keith. Pete, what's up, Keith Bender? My boy.
78-year-old. 78 years old, Moretti.
I mean,
come on.
Come on, man.
That's
I mean,
fucking crazy, dude.
And like Gonzalo said, it's a job where you have to be alert. Your senses have to be at full capacity to be judging a fight. And these guys, I mean, right after the fight, they go to sleep. You know what I mean?
Right after. Dude, it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you got a 78-year-old trying to fucking at the ring apron trying to watch the punch. I mean, no wonder.
I'm getting tired at 1. I'm tired at 1 a.m. Imagine these guys who 78. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
I think
that's bad on the commission. That's bad on the commission, dude. Look. I'll say a couple things is like about Top Rank and all this. They tried to get him They tried to get him kicked off. They how do you call it? They rejected. They moved to have him to have him dismissed and have another judge put in there, but they got overruled by the commission. Top Rank asked that he be dismissed.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
They filed an objection when the judges came out. I don't know if it was an age thing. I mean, Aram's no spring chicken himself, so he didn't say it like that. But he did say in the post fight that we tried to get him. He said it's really weird because honestly, I'm not a judge and I'm not judging the fight and I'm not scoring the fight with a paper and pencil. But he goes, it is really weird because we did ask for him to be dismissed and we did get. It's pretty rare that they reject that, but they did.
Well, Pete, I can't wait to see Haney's response because he's he takes everything really to heart. You know what I mean? I can't wait to hear his response to his promoter saying, not like it was a close fight, kid, but I think you pulled it out. You won that fight easily, was his terminology. You won that fight easily, Bob said. Wait till Haney responds to that. It's going to get to him. Trust me. I know there'll be a handful of people who'll be in his fucking timeline sucking his balls and dick riding them and shit because, you know, they share the same ethnicity or for whatever other tribalistic reason they feel they have to fucking hold this kid up. But he's going to see the people whose opinions count, the other professional fighters, the people in the media, his own promoter, who all say he lost the fight. It's going to get to him.
Actually, last night, his own promoter was DeBella. Like DeBella was representing Haney Promotions last night, and he would have been the one that I guess asked him ready to stay on. But you know what? I don't know. After the fight, like, of course they handled it like fucking Bill Haney's just like despicable, man.
All right,
he's got no goddamn.
We got a real super check here. Van Souls says referee was paid all night. Referee was stopping every time Lomachenko got close, even when the hands were freed. Referee did not give Lomachenko a chance to break out of the clinch. What do you guys think about that?
No, the ref did fine.
The ref was fine. He was okay. He was good.
The ref was fine.
He was good.
It's like in the military when you're in basic training and there's a guy, because there's like, I don't know, many soldiers like trying to make it. The guy that doesn't get noticed is the one that goes unperceived, out of sight, out of mind, and he makes it. He's like, oh, where were you? Who are you? Never noticed you, but
never volunteer, right, Gonzalo?
Hey, you know what? Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley, they were really riding hard for Haney in the beginning. Yeah. And they kind of changed their tune. They were a little shifty because, in my opinion, they started noticing that Lomachenko started getting to him. So just to save face, because I think Timothy Bradley kind of was like thinking, oh man, this guy's gonna get knocked out. In the beginning, I'm playing it for Haney, but he's getting to him now. Yeah, and that's the way they did. They said that.
No, Bradley's more honest. Bradley's more honest than Ward is. Ward's so fucking arrogant that he can't turn back on his. Because these guys give interviews before the fight, and Bradley was saying the same shit that a lot of these guys were saying, which was that Haney's too young, too strong, too fast, and too good of a jab. And like we said on the film study, no, and no. He was not Lomachenko was faster. Lomachenko was stronger. The jab was nothing. Lomachenko was never there for him to use it. So the thing about Bradley is, though, during the fight, he actually called the fight like he was seeing it. In the second round, he was saying, dude, this is bad for Haney that Lomachenko is just in there so quickly. He's so easy.
Ward would have busted a nut if fucking Haney stopped Lomachenko.
Oh, man.
How hard he was dick riding for fucking Haney. And they started almost arguing about it. Remember, like, he was saying, oh, man, he's starting to figure him out. It's not good for Haney. So, please, I don't want to hear any of that fucking horse shit that Haney was doing anything. Again, Pete, let me ask you, who would you rather have been at the end of that fight?
Loma. The marks on his face were from Haney's shoulders. I mean, they were like, they were coming into each other, and Loma had his hands down. The best thing that ref did was, before the fight, he went to both sides and he goes, look, I'm just telling you flat out, if you have a hand free, this whole clinching thing, this whole dirty fighter shit was about that Haney wanted to know that he could just clinch, he could throw in underhooks, and then that would stop the action. Yep. He wanted a verbal a verbal command from the ref right when that happened, because that would stop Loma from punching. And the best thing,
Oh, guys. But I agree with that fucking with that super chat into a point where he didn't allow Lomachenko to pull. Like, to work on the inside. A few times I felt he did jump in there to stop that quick. I'm not saying had it in for Haney. I just felt that I agree with. I felt he could have done a better job there.
Guys, let's hit that
Yes.
like button. Let's hit the like button. Let's hit to 150 likes. Guys, let's take a phone call, all right? One phone call. We're going to be switching between the panel and phone calls, so we're not going to go through all the phone calls again. Mr. BDA took a lot of phone calls yesterday, all right? Let's take a phone call here. This is me on mute because I muted the caller.
Dave Moretti calling in, ladies and gentlemen.
Dave Moretti, please call in.
Hello.
All right. He's like Joe Biden. 941, you're on the air. 941. 941, you're on the air.
Hi.
Yes. Welcome. What's on your mind?
Yes. I just wanted to comment about the referee. I don't think the ref did a good job. He was letting Haney hit Loma behind the head a lot, and the only thing he would do was point, and he just let him get away with it a lot. That's just my opinion.
Okay. What do you think about the decision?
Exactly.
I think the decision was terrible.
All right.
I think Loma won it. I had it scored 7-5.
Okay.
To you, man.
All right. Anything else?
Oh, that's it.
All right. Thanks for calling.
Take care.
Take care.
All right.
We're going to try to do these callers a little bit quicker. 604, you're on there. 604.
Hey, what's up, BDA? Street.
This is Bucho. Go ahead.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, man. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Oh shit, that's not BDA.
No, this is Bucho. That's what I'm saying. People confuse us. Don't worry. You're not the
you
first
guys
one.
sound the same.
Yeah. Everybody says that. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. One thing I was thinking is I heard everybody saying they were gonna, if it was close, they were gonna give it to Loma to make the fight with Shakur. I'm like, bro, that shit isn't gonna happen, man. If it's close, they're gonna fucking give it to Haney, and that's what we saw pretty much. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people thought. Okay, so what do you think is gonna happen now in the future? What do you want to see happen?
Well, what's probably gonna happen is Haney's gonna run up to 140, probably fight Teo. I'm guessing at 140, and then, or maybe he'll fight Shakur. Maybe he'll make the weight again and fight Shakur if he can, but I don't think he can. I don't think he can make 135 again. I think yeah, he'll move up and fight Teo or some shit, and then the belts will go vacant, and yeah, whatever.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Thanks for calling. Take care, man. Do we have? Sorry about that. Do we have Gypsy Boxing Style? You want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say hi, guys. How you guys all doing?
It's been a long time, man.
Something very, very bad. Good, huh? Jimmy, how are you?
Nobody likes you. That's why nobody's answering.
Hey, what's up, Gypsy? How you doing?
I said, what's up, buddy?
I know. I kind of heard it because, it lags and stuff and cuts you off. Yeah, anyways, guys, I enjoyed the fight yesterday. I didn't get the chance to rewatch it because it takes a minute to rewatch before they put it on MMA Share Core, MMA Course, and that's where I get my fights off of, like, if I missed it. But I didn't miss this fight. I watched it, and I was surprised with Haney's approach. I liked what he did. Yeah, I'm at work right now, and the thing is, I'm gonna rewatch it tomorrow. But the fight did seem a little close to me, even though I edged it off to Loma, and I gave it to Loma at the end. But he should have won that 12th round, bro. He kind of let it out the steam with that 12th round, and I think he's lost his killer instinct. This is my opinion. You saw that with the Comey fight. You don't do that shit, man. Tell your fucking coach. Tell the coach of the other side. Stop the fight. Oh, you like the guy? There ain't no lacking, motherfucker. You kill the motherfucker. He's in the ring for a reason. He won't do the same shit to you. He won't fucking do. Comey wouldn't have done the same shit.
All right. He lost the 12th round. He lost it. Let's say he lost the 12th round. That would have been a majority draw.
Being honest, I haven't rewatched for it, but
it would have been a majority draw. It would still have been a majority draw if he would have won the 12th round. That's how fucked up it was. The other judge already had it 116, 112.
Yeah, that judge shouldn't be judging. That 78-year-old man, like Pete says, yeah, he shouldn't be judging, bro. That shit's ridiculous. I agree with that. But
Didn't Lomachenko outland him in the 12th round?
What's up?
I thought
I don't
Loma
think so.
landed 2 punches more. And you got to remember, too, he's 35 years old. He might have been a little tired because all the times he was punching him in the fucking head in the 3 prior rounds.
A lot of people gave the 12th round to Haney, including myself, bro. Like the 11th, I gave it to him. The 10th, I gave it to him. I can't remember the other one. The first round, I gave it to him. Probably, I can't remember. I have to rewatch it to score it because I was watching
honestly,
it.
I did too.
But the real question is why? Because 30 seconds to go, 30 seconds left on the clock, it was still up in the air. Even Andre Ward and Timothy Bradley were saying somebody need to close the show.
Exactly.
Meaning the round was still open, and Lomachenko was the one coming forward. So really, I mean, why would people? This is my problem because people automatically assume that in the close round you're supposed to give it to that guy.
I think it's unfair to start saying that Lomachenko lost. He could have because he didn't win a 12th round. Like you ignore everything else he did. Like just because of one round, now it's like, well, it's okay if he lost the fight. No,
not because of that. It's because you know how this sport is. It's fucked up. And if he had at least knocked him down, I saw an opportunity for him to knock him down in the 11th round. I was like, literally, I got up off my fucking couch. I'm like, fucking push him, man. Get through him. At least throw a fucking jab. If you're tired, for instance, if you're fucking tired, throw a few jabs, this feint, and then throw a fucking hook with the right. Just do something. But he was just jabbing and then letting him recover. And I was like,
but he was tired. Back. I think he was tired. I also wanted him, of course, to put more pressure in the 12th round. I was like, you gotta close this. But he was tired. What do you want? Like, it's still, but that doesn't justify. That doesn't justify the robbery.
If he was younger, I'm just gonna say this. I think if he was younger, he would have pulled it off. He would have knocked him out. I think he would at least dropped him a couple times. If he not knocked out, at least dropped him. At least like how he did.
But you know what, Gypsy? I feel that Haney and a lot of people think he deserves extra credit because he did what he was supposed to do. Basically, fight a little cleaner. I like this approach a little better, but just because you did what you're supposed to do doesn't mean that you get extra credit for that. Because even he said it in the post-fight press conference, I showed you guys a side of me that you've never seen before. What, motherfucker?
Yeah, what?
A little bit more clean.
What did we see? We saw you in trouble. We saw you in trouble.
You were fucking beating up Lomachenko either. You just did what you were supposed to. But then again, you don't get extra credit for that shit.
Yeah, he's a bitch nigga, bro. Gonzalo, you're right. He's a bitch. There's no way around that. I've said it in my videos. He's a pussy. It's just the thing is that he did better, but he still was dirty. I'm surprised Loma didn't say that he was dirty because he grabbed in the 3rd and 4th round. He rabbit punched. Loma followed up with the rabbit punch, and you guys saying the ref was doing his job. This motherfucker warned Loma for 2 times. Haney throws, and then finally Loma throws, and then he warns Loma instead of Haney. And Loma didn't follow up with the rabbit punches after that.
All right,
Haney still did.
All right. You gotta take more phone calls, but we're gonna do these phone calls a little bit quick. All right, 336. You're on the air. 336. Go ahead.
Yo, can you hear me this time? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yep, go ahead.
All right, cool, model. You guys can hear me last night. So first thing, looking back after the decision was made, I would say that this entire facade was put in once the money line was set. Because once we saw Loma was a 2.5 to 1 underdog, Haney was implied by Vegas to have a 70-75% chance to win. He was going to get fucked on the cards. And that's kind of what happened. So I said Loma was going to figure him out by round 4 or 5, and I thought that's how he was going to dismantle him. But it took until about round 6 or 7, and that's because Haney actually started to activate his feet. He actually lowered his stance to where it wasn't so wide, and he basically took away Loma's lateral footwork. The thing is, Loma's so great that he beat the supposed master linear fighter, the jab master at his own fucking game, and just completely demolished him. I had it 8 rounds to 4, so it was competitive and somewhat relatively close, but there was a clear winner, and he beat him at his own game. The boxing's turning into fucking WWE, where just like Floyd in the beginning of his career when he lost to Castillo and everyone gave him shit and he looked like the villain, you're able to play into that. And, Haney's now the villain of the sport. And you got people like Tank or fucking Shakur going to be seen as the heroes. And it should have never got to this point. So it's the sport's fucked. It's doomed. Floyd's ruined the sport, is what it is. I gave the first 6 rounds, I had it even. You could argue maybe 4-2 Haney, but I had it even, 3-3. I gave Loma 7 through 11. I thought he fucking swept him. And then round 12, you can maybe give Haney and that's only because the only reason people are just automatically giving Haney that round is because he wasn't getting dominated like the previous 5 rounds.
Good point.
So
good point. In contrast,
that's a good card.
Yeah,
that's a good way to describe the fight.
It's a good way. Yeah. Good way.
Yep.
Good
So
point.
in my opinion, I
can make my assessment. I'll put it up my own videos.
All right, hold on, Gypsy.
So I can't really say that. That's just first time watching. So
one last thing. I was gonna say I had it. Like I said, I had 8-4 Loma. You can maybe argue 7-4-1 Loma. I think 7-5 is the absolute best case for Haney. I even think that's egregious because you could argue 8-3-1, 9-3 Lomachenko. If you can argue 7-5 Haney, you can argue 9-3, 8-3-1 Loma. Loma completely demolished this fucking kid. The world knows it. There was countless fighters. I'm not even going to name them all. Countless fighters in the broader boxing public picked Lomachenko to lose the fight, and they all said Loma won. Every single one of them said Lomachenko got it done.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
we know what time it is. Haney's got the complexion for the protection, unlike what these Kill Whitey channels are going to tell you. And it is what it is. Some of these LGBT channels were actually showing some heart, and were actually being honest. But there's obviously a lot of them that weren't as well. But anyways, it was a good fight. It was an action-packed fight, and it was fun. But Loma won, and that's all.
All right, caller. Thanks for calling. All right, we gotta move on. There's so many calls.
Great call.
Good call. Good call. Call back again. All right, take care.
Yeah,
it's true. They could be at the taunt or like a rapprochement between us and the LDBC on this when it comes to this fight. All right, let's take another phone call. Go ahead,
okay,
Gypsy. Gypsy, go ahead, and then we take a phone call.
all I gotta say is if Haney wants to be great, like he claims he wants to be, he has to rematch him just like Floyd did his rematches with Castillo, Maidana. He's got to rematch it Toronto, like in a heartbeat. If he doesn't, you can forget about that shit. I don't think he has much of a future. I don't even think Shakur has much of a future. These guys don't. Tank might, maybe. Like, maybe. And I don't know about Frank Martin, and I don't know about Keyshawn Davis yet. They're not too much about I'm not too hyped about those guys at all yet. But those guys, I can imagine 140. They're not gonna. I don't see them going.
Yeah,
too far,
that's
bro.
a good
I
point
just
when you're
don't.
bringing up the styles. Are they attractive and stuff like that? We'll talk more about that maybe on another show this week. Actually, I plan on doing a bunch of shows this week. Actually, all right. Let's take another phone call here. We're gonna do this kind of quick, guys. All right. I'm timing it. 404. You're on the air. 404. Please go ahead.
Hey, what's going on? This is Coach Eddie.
Hey, what's up, man?
Coach Eddie, what's up, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. I called the show a couple of days ago. I watched the fight last night. Close fight. I would have been okay with a victory either way. I would have been okay with 7-5 Lomo, 7-5 Haney. I think Devin won the match, but Lomachenko won the fight. The reason why I say that is because in 10 of those rounds, they landed the exact same amount of punches on each other. So if you're going by the punch stats, it's a very close fight. Those swing rounds, you got to remember, when you're the champ, you have to clearly, decisively beat the champ. In those close rounds, they're going to automatically swing it to the younger guy. The guy that got a little more years on his career, they're going to swing it to him, plus he was the champion. So like the old saying, you got to beat the champ. Mm-hmm. The round that Lomo did win, he won them decisively.
Jimmy.
He won decisively, but he has to rematch him though.
Coach, Jimmy wants to say something. Jimmy.
No, I wanted to ask you a question, Coach, real quick, because I know I respect your opinion. You call. I know you know what you're talking about, but body shots, yes, they do count as a power shot, but if you're catching them on the arms, on the hip, they're not clear, good body shots, and not all shots are equal. A shot to the fucking beak that snaps a dude's head back, that rocks a dude, right? That's better than body shot. And half of Haney's power shots were those body shots. And who pushed the pace? That was Lomachenko. Who was the ring general? That was Lomachenko. Who landed the most shots. Even when you count all his body shots, Haney still landed less punches, and the more effective ones were Lomachenko. So I understand what you're saying. There's times you can win the fight but lose the boxing match. But I can't pass that out even in my head. Like, no, I can't come to that with what we saw from Haney. And like you said, I believe Lomachenko, the rounds he won far more dominant.
Oh yeah, big. He won them big, and like he throws flashy combinations. They were landing, snapping their hair back. I hate guys when they come in with the long hair, because when you hit them, their freaking whole head, the hair goes all over the place, and it makes it worse than what it really is.
Coach,
but like I say, Devin landed some good punches because Lomachenko's face was messed up.
I wanted to say to you,
Gonzalo.
Yeah, Coach. One thing I wanted to say to you, my only problem with saying that is that all the close rounds, them swing rounds go to the champion, that you got to decisively beat the champion. So in other words, Lomachenko, the only way that he can win, he has to dominate the whole fight. Because he dominated 3-4 rounds, dominated. But that's not enough. He got to dominate all the rounds. No round can be close because then Haney going to win. That takes a lot of effort.
They're going to swing it. But think about this. Think about how many times Ken Norton beat Ali arguably twice. And I love Ali. But Ken Norton beat Ali twice. But the people like Ali, so they gave it to him. How many times have you seen a fighter get knocked down 3 times? Klitschko got knocked down 3 times and still won that fight. Marquez got knocked down 3 times by Manny Pacquiao and still was able to come back and make it a draw. So a lot of times, put it like this. Let's say I won all 7 rounds decisively. But then you beat the brakes off of me the last 5 rounds. The people are going to say you won the fight. Yes, you won the fight, but I won the match by boxing rules, by the Queensberry rules. You could have got mopped the floor of me 5 rounds in a row, destroyed me. If I won the first 7 clear on the scorecards, I won the fight. That's what I'm saying. Devin Haney, Lomachenko fights in spurts. He fights in spurts. When I seen it, I thought Lomachenko won the fight. I'm not going back. He won the fight, but I knew that Devin won the match.
So because
Devin needs to give him a rematch.
You think Haney won more rounds at the end of the day? That's what
I think by Queensberry rules,
everything that the coach the coach is saying makes sense. It does make sense, but the only thing that I'm saying that when he say that look, Haney clearly won the match. Those rounds were so close that's a gray area, and you can't necessarily say that 100%. Because it looks good when you say it like that. Oh, well, that guy won the fight, but then this guy won the match. But when it comes to the match, that's not cutting clear.
No, it wasn't clear. When I'm watching this fight, I'm sitting there watching. I watched it again this morning. I'm like, I don't know who won that round. That's what I'm watching the fight, and I'm saying I don't know who won the round.
All right, Coach,
that's what I'm saying to myself.
Sorry to cut you off, but we gotta move on. Just one last question: do you want to see a rematch? Do you want to see a rematch? Yes or no?
I think he has to do a rematch, but I think that 135 Devin Haney looked so gassed in the 9th round. That weight is killing him. And I think at 135, he ain't got no future at 135, man. I don't even know how he makes that weight.
All right, Coach, we gotta move on. Thank you for calling.
He needs to clean up, but he needs to rematch though. He got to clean up. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. See ya.
Coach, have a good one.
Good call, Coach.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah, I gave him extra time.
Guy.
I gave him additional time because you guys were jumping in as well. It was a good call. All right. 480, you're on the air. 480.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. Please go ahead.
Hey, it's Red Breed. So look, I thought it could have went either way. Just my opinion. If it would have went to Loma, I wouldn't argue against it. If it would have been a draw, I wouldn't be against it. I thought that 12th round made the difference to me. That's why I gave it to Haney. If Loma would have took that 12th round, I believe the judge's scorecard would have had it either gave him the fight or it would have been a draw.
A draw.
Yeah.
Majority.
Yeah. Majority draw.
I don't know how you give it to the 12th round so clearly to him, and I don't know how you saw that many rounds to Haney. I mean, how was he winning those rounds? What was he doing?
I thought Loma did have the more telling shots. I'm not gonna lie. But Dev definitely was working the body. That to me is what won the fight.
Okay, but Robbery, right? And I hear what you're saying. He's working the body. But if that's the case, why was he the one with his mouth open, sitting in the corner with his eyes the size of saucers, confused, not knowing what to do? Because he had the fight beat out of him. There's a reason why Shakur Stevenson, who was there for him, said he lost a robbery. He lost 8-4. Keyshawn Davis, fucking Crawford, all of them are saying fucking Loma won.
Okay. Yeah, well, those guys are entitled to their opinion. You know, we're not. We're not a monolith.
Let the caller. We go, caller, and then someone in the panel. Then caller, then we go back to the panel because then it gets crazy. Caller, your turn. Brad, yeah.
Those guys are entitled to their opinion. We're not all a monolith. Like I said, I'm not going to argue if you thought Loma won the fight. I do disagree saying that it was a robbery.
Okay,
I don't think there's such thing as a robbery in the post fight in boxing.
All right, we get the point. Gypsy.
Okay, but like I was saying before the fight, stylistically Loma had the advantages in this fight. It's not a good matchup for Devin Haney. And that proved to be the case. And I still believe that Shakur will wash both of these dudes.
Yeah.
Probably on the same night, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that fight, man.
All right. I see you, man. Take care. Call back again next time. See you next time. Yeah. He's going to watch everybody.
Both of these guys, right? I think both of these guys end up the same way against Loma. Whatever happened to Haney yesterday will happen to Shakur. Shakur and Haney is the fact that he knows how to. He's more composed when it comes to his distance. He doesn't reach in as much. That's about it. That's it.
Can somebody explain to me? Name me another sport where a fan would say that about like hockey. Imagine like saying Wayne Gretzky, well, you're entitled to your opinion, or a professional guy who played the sport. Like, you got to give certain opinion. Not every opinion is created equal. When you have a professional fighter who sees things that non-professional people who've never boxed before, obviously, if I'm sitting in a room with Shakur Stevens, I might be older than him, but if I'm gonna listen to everything he says because I know he knows what he's talking about. And if I believe somebody's being honest with me, I'm going to especially listen to what they say. And the fact that, again, he said Haney smokes him going into the fight. So for him to say not only did he fucking not smoke him, but he robbed him, that has to carry weight with you if you're an honest person. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the whole thing it could have gone either way is like so vague, man. That saying needs to go away. And if you got these old judges, and for them it's not going, could have gone either way. They're all saying this guy won, so clearly they're totally biased, because even the fans are saying this guy won, and the ones that are not saying that totally are saying it could have gone either way, but they're seeing it one way. That's weird.
Yeah, nowadays a fight goes to 12 rounds, and all of a sudden, well, it could have gone either way. It's completely subjective. It's like, no, of course not. There's criteria. Come on, guys. All right, guys, let's take another phone call. 757, you're on the air. 757.
Pucho, can I say one more thing? I'm gonna bounce out. When Danny Jacobs had to fight with Golovkin, and it was a clear victory that Golovkin won. And you had a lot of these LDBC guys saying that Danny Jacobs edged it, he won, and all that kind of shit. But it's crazy. In this fight, they're saying that Loma, the guys in the LDBC, they're saying Loma actually won. Man, I have to rewatch this shit. I gave it to Loma, but I don't know about how many rounds, because I didn't score the fight. I watched it for fun, just as a fan, enjoying it. But I still gotta score it. But Jesus, if they're saying it, it's gotta be really bad. It's gotta be really bad.
Good point.
That's all I gotta say.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a phone call here. 757. You're on the air. 757.
Yeah. Hey. So I called in last night, and I told you I had it 6-6. I watched it again this morning, and I had it 8-4, 7-5 for Devin Haney.
8-4.
I got it.
So 116, 112. 116, 112.
Yeah, I got it 116, 112, 115, 113. Exactly as how the judges scored it. But like so their rounds are a little finicky. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to defend somebody giving Devin Haney round 10. I'm not going to defend that. You know what I'm saying? That is what that is. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah.
But what I will say though is I watched it, and when I watched it last night, I'm giving Lomachenko the benefit of the doubt in a lot of rounds. I watched it again, just not giving him nothing, and I ended up with 8-4 for Haney. You know what I mean? What Lomachenko did was, usually we all know that he likes to take rounds off. What he did was he took huge swaths of rounds off, like not the whole round, but most of the round.
But what was Haney doing in those times he had off? He wasn't landing anything. He got outlanded. He outlanded him by 14 punches, and majority of those to the head. Half of Haney's punches were to Loma's body. I just cannot fathom how you gave him 116 to 112. When he pushed the pace, he was the ring general, and he outlanded him. And clearly, the more he landed better punches and rocked him on several occasions.
Listen, this is not basketball. You don't just get to shoot and score a bunch of points and be like, yeah, I won the game. There's rounds. There's 12 rounds. You ask me what rounds did I give him, I'm going to tell you. I gave Lomachenko 3, 7, 10, 11. Now, round 9... You didn't give him round 9. Huh? You can give him round 9. It's still 7-5. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not. You talking to a guy who was telling you that, hey, this was a Vegas fix last night. I told you it was a Vegas fix last night. And round 10 going to Devin Haney, that's Vegas fix. That is Vegas fix. Going into the 12th round, if I would have put money down, if I would have put $100 down, I would have made close to $1,000. You know what I mean?
So it was a Vegas fix. Yeah, Vegas fix. But then you went out. Now it's 116, 112.
And do you know, going into the 12th round, Vegas odds changed it to 5-1. Vegas odds had Haney needing a knockout to win the fight.
Yep.
Well, listen, caller, we gotta move on. There's a lot of phone calls here, but call back again, all right?
All
right, take care. Sorry about that. Sorry
he's
about
a good
the guy.
caller, too, I gotta say, too. I've heard him call before. He's a good guy. I'm not making this personal. I try not to. I apologize if I sound like I am.
No. This is a debate show. We're debating nothing personal, people. And I don't think you said anything that's bad. Greg Terrible, thank you for your super chat. No comment. He just says new. I guess you're new to the channel, I guess. But welcome to the channel if you're new. And appreciate the super chat. Chris K.
Thank you.
Yeah. Chris K, thank you for your contribution. He says, Lomachenko still got hand speed, footwork, pop, but maybe gas tank declining. He has let guys off the hook when hurt in recent fights. Round 11 should have TKO. Should have been a TKO, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's why I think that round 12 he looked very tired as well. But Haney as well, which is kind of impressive. I mean, the 35-year-old actually, I think, looked better at the end. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bucho, at least the other caller, he's calling it out the way he thinks he saw it. The problem, there's not too many people that saw it that way. But, the people in the middle that they're kind of like lukewarm, can't decide whether he won or lost, they're just going to say, it could have gone either way. That's real vague. And you know what that tells me? You can't pull the trigger. You got no nuts to at least say, hey, I think Loma won. If you got no nuts, fucking say Loma won, or at least say like that caller, I think Haney won. But when you say kind of like wishy-washy, lukewarm in the middle, remember what the Bible said. It's rather to be cold or rather to be hot, because if you're lukewarm, I'm going to vomit you out my mouth.
Exactly. Good point, Gonzalo. Good point. And the caller, at least he says that I think Haney won, and he gave us the rounds. That's it. Yep. Okay, that's fair enough. Don't sugarcoat it. Oh, I could have gone either way. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Oh, no, that was Pete, I think, who wanted to say something.
Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, just about the judges, I guess the standard for these judges, after the Canelo and Triple G1 fight, when Bob Bennett, when the athletic director got kind of pressed by the media about what's going to happen now with this Adelaide Bird chick, and he's like, well, we're just going to sit down and, we're going to sit down with her and I'm going to watch the fight with her, and I'm going to, have her scorecard in front of me, and I'm going to have her justify, why she scored these rounds the way she did. And so if you look at it under that standard, the way we're watching it on TV, as compared to one judge sitting on the ring apron with one angle, even last night on the TV, the cameras had trouble keeping up with these guys. The way they were displacing, and Loma's in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
And so therefore, I'm always kind of like, well, what's going to really happen if a judge was completely out of line? He's just going to say, I don't care what you saw on the camera. I don't care what you saw on the TV. I saw from my angle. This is what I saw. But the thing about it is, Dave Moretti, to give the fucking 10th, how the fuck can you give the 10th round to Haney? Like the last caller said, I mean, that was the most clear-cut round of the entire fight. Lomachenko was putting it on his fucking ass. Had him hurt for the last minute. For the last minute of that round, he was beating the shit out of him. Haney was latched onto his arm. He wasn't clinching like underhooks. He was fucking holding his arm like he was holding onto a piece of debris out in the ocean, like he was shipwrecked. I mean, he was fucking in trouble. So to give that round to Haney.
Like Jimmy said, these judges are all, they're sitting watching it from a bad angle. It's just, they have to change something. They have to be sitting somewhere else as well and be younger. Go ahead.
But that round, Loma beat his ass in all directions.
I know, it's one-sided.
Like he hurt him with a straight left hand in the 10th round. Then he hit him with an uppercut. Then he was fucking raining down hooks on him. And Haney couldn't even defend himself. He's fucked. So from all angles, I mean, like that was rotating around, beating. And he's still, if you look at Moretti's card, a lot of people are saying the first half of the fight, there was a lot of swing rounds in the first half of the fight. I think it's pretty clear. A lot of people are saying that, right? But this Moretti guy's got the first half of the fight going both ways, and then he's got Haney running away with the second half of the fight.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's just not what happened.
Inexcusable, Pete.
They're damn near 80 years old, man. They start declining cognitively. That's just a fact, man. You're not as sharp when you're that old.
And especially like Pete said, at fucking late at night, and they're still judging. By the way, there's a super chat here from the Funk Tapas. He says, it was home cooking. I've seen worse decisions, but this was an important one, and they got it wrong. Close and clear.
They got it wrong.
Not mutually exclusive. Exactly. Great point.
This is a side note. They need to incentivize ex-fighters who retired, who might not have, made championship level. They just got to stop getting these lawyers and people who are friends of the commission to go take a 3-hour test, and you're a judge. It's a fucking joke.
It's like politicians.
You never know, Jimmy. Some of these guys, like I said earlier, they're on the verge of dying with some disease that it's undisclosed, but later you find out he had been battling cancer for the last 10 years. But they're kind of cozy because they get, special treatment up at the MGM Grand. Maybe they hook them up with a few hookers, a little bit of liquor, and I don't know.
There's no recourse.
And all of a sudden they're fucking happy because they don't care about their reputation. They're about living their last days with depression or whatever, trying to because they got the wifey at home, living it up, right? They got these
There's no consequences, brother. That's the problem. There's no consequences. You know what I mean? Like the person who scored that 10th round for Haney should never judge another fight again. I'd be like, that's it, dude. You're suspended. Period.
All right, guys. There's a million phone calls, so we're gonna have to take a few of them, and we're gonna time it again, guys. Sorry about that, but I want to let everybody have their say. 513, you're on the air. 513, you're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, man? That was a great fight last night, and I just Lomachenko proved, he the greatest fighter in the world, and by Haney getting that decision, man, that was beautiful, man. All three judges unanimous, because there ain't no way to fix judges. I watch a movie, I love it. You watch the same movie, you hate it. It ain't no way, because even if you get former fighters, they still gonna have different opinions. You know what I mean? As long as the people if they agree with you, they not corrupt. See, that's how boxing, that's how the world works. If they agree with if that Lomachenko won,
Carla,
they're not corrupt.
But
if they
Carla,
agree
all the
with
fighters are
judges,
saying
they
Loma
are
won.
corrupt.
So it's not like a spattering of fighters are saying Haney won. Nobody's saying Haney won.
I think
all three judges saying he won. That's why he is.
The three judges.
Can't
Okay,
say
but that's
nobody.
celebrating corruption. And I'm not saying these guys were corrupt like they were paid. They're ancient.
No,
they can't see around the ropes.
You don't agree with the judgment. But if they agreed with you, you wouldn't call them corrupt.
No. Most people saw Lomachenko win. That's not the consensus. Even professional boxers.
No, not most people. All three. It's not. It don't matter what nobody think except those judges. You have to convince the judges. You don't have to convince the fans.
We gotta change the judges. We gotta bring people.
I don't play that route. If that was the case, this fight, I wouldn't even waste my time with this sport.
If we would have had Crawford, Keyshawn Davis, and Shakur Stevenson as the three judges yesterday night, Lomachenko would have won the fight. But instead, we got
right, because they love Lomachenko more. It don't matter. They still they not the judges. Fuck what they think. It ain't about what they think. It's about what the judges that's going to
it's about having competent. It's about having competent judges. That's what we're talking about. Having competent judges. These guys were not competent.
And
do you think
notice they only get mad?
All right,
remember,
caller,
they rewarded Pacquiao. They gave Pacquiao the Marquez 3 fight.
Yes.
And people was upset.
Of course.
People was upset about the Pac-Man Marquez 3.
Well, yes.
You know what I mean? This is what happens in boxing.
No, this is what happens. We have incompetent, corrupt, possibly corrupt judges. That's the problem.
Yeah,
that unheld the standards
since the beginning of time. We've been having that since the beginning of time. So why cry now? You know that going into the fight.
Well,
so if you think that, you need to knock your man out. Don't leave it to the judges.
Okay, hold on. We're not crying. And even if we were crying, we always complain about robberies in boxing. So this isn't something new. It's not the first time we complain about a robbery. We always complain about robberies.
But it's only a robbery if you don't agree. If you agree with it, it's not a robbery.
But
disagree with you?
Caller, do you believe that there's robberies in boxing, especially in Las Vegas? Yes or no?
No, I don't believe there's no such thing as a robbery.
Well, then we have
judges on your hands. You got to knock them out.
Well, we'll end it there.
Because that was a close fight. In a close fight, it can go either way, sir.
Okay, so we believe there's robberies in boxing. You don't. I mean, we're gonna leave it at that, caller, because it's been 3 minutes.
But how is there robbery? Give me another example. Was Charlo robbed against
the 10th
Harrison?
round was given to Lomachenko to Haney, the 10th round, and then you have one judge on 116 12. None of the judges give it to Lomachenko or even a draw, and then you have a consensus outside the ring that believes that Lomachenko won the fight. So I mean, there's something fishy going on. I don't have evidence. I don't have. I can go to court and prove it.
But the fans do not score the fight, though. You don't.
And it's not the first time it happens either. It's not the first time it happens either, caller. So there's like precedent. So, but anyways, listen. We can. You believe there's no corruption in boxing? We believe there is.
It was a great decision, but he beat the best fighter in the world, so he should be pound for pound #1 off of this.
But he's not.
He should be #1.
But in one breath, you're saying fans don't matter. Their opinions don't matter. Whose opinion makes that? And I'll tell you right now, this is a fact. Coming out of that fight, Haney has not gained a stitch of credibility or fans. That's a fact.
All right, caller.
He got more credibility now because he beat the champion.
All right. Jimmy.
That's not what people are saying. Go to Twitter. Go see what they're saying about the champion.
We got to move on. Caller, thank you for calling, all right? Call back again next time.
Thank you, brother. Great.
Ah, shit. Sorry, man. We got to move. Jimmy, sorry to cut you off, but I mean, we're going to go back and forth. I know he's saying
I understand. I
know he's saying some things that are going to get you, like, riled up. But
I know. It's just to me, that's celebrating a bad decision. I can't okay, for instance, the first Kovalev-Ward, I'll make it quick. First Kovalev-Ward fight, I thought Ward was going to beat him. I thought he had the ring IQ to beat him. So I should have been, by his point, I should have been saying, oh, fuck you, man, Ward won that fight. I couldn't stand on my fucking pick. I went, I was wrong, man. Kovalev won that fight. See, that's what someone with integrity does. They look at the fight. They don't look at the fucking judges. Well, those ancient old-time fucking douchebags got it wrong, but hey, that's all that matters. Fucking bullshit.
All right.
I mean, you got the audacity to say, well, it's not even audacious. It's just kind of like in the middle to say, oh, it could have gone either way. Well, fucking grab your nuts, and if you think fucking Haney won, say it, but you can't, because you can't come up with that, because obviously it's not true.
By the way, I'm gonna be doing a show this week where we're gonna be ranking. We're gonna do a pound for pound ranking. Some people don't like the pound for pound. I know Jimmy doesn't, and other people. But just to see what you guys think about the current pound for pound ranking and where Haney falls in there. Toon, thank you for your super chat. He says Devin Haney ain't rematching Lomachenko. He running with that gift. It's cool though. I got Lomachenko over Devin Haney on the pound for pound list. What you're talking about. 90% of the boxing community knows Lomachenko won. Interesting. All right, guys, let's take another phone call here. 323, you're on the air. 323.
What's up, guys? Yeah, man, I love the convenience of, it's what the judges think, and the convenience of all of a sudden evading the question, is there corruption in boxing? It's wow, just the stupidity that comes out of people's mouths, just to favor their own guy. Now, I'm a guy that believed that Triple G won the first Canelo fight. I'm the guy that believes that Kovalev beat Andre Ward in the first fight, and this fight was definitely a robbery. I had Loma at least 3 rounds. The crowd I was with, it was like about 10 people. They all said it was. They all had it by 2 rounds. So, but nobody, and some people were like, it could have been a draw. But nobody that I talked to so far has said this was a Haney win. By no stretch of the imagination. Loma had him hurt. Loma was dismantling them. There were no points that Loma seemed like he was in trouble at all. But I just don't know what people are thinking.
Hey, caller. You notice even that last caller didn't even say that Haney won. He didn't even say ever that I had Haney winning that fight. I had Haney running away with that second half of that fight, because then they got to justify it, and he's just flaunting. You're just gonna flaunt the bad decision, like
celebrate.
You can't justify. You can't.
So if it's that, I mean, like, fuck it, you know.
That's all it is, brother. Celebrating a fucking judge's robbery.
Gentlemen, there's no conceivable way we can say that Haney won this fight. There is absolutely no conceivable way here. I mean, when there were moments in the fight where he definitely had good moments, and I give him his flowers for being. He proved that he could stand toe to toe with an elite fighter, and he's one of those guys. But he didn't win. It wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough to win the fight. He didn't do enough work. Loma had him figured out, and Loma was dismantling the kid. I mean, he was put in a very vulnerable position. And every time I saw him look up at Loma after some of the exchanges, he just looked like he was a deer in the headlights, and he was backing up.
Exactly.
He was scared. There was no way.
He had no answers.
He knew in his head. He knew in his head he was in trouble. If you see the look on his face, Loma never had that look, but Haney had that look. Haney had that look like, oh fuck, like what? I don't know what to do. I'm backing up. I don't know what to do. As soon as I saw
punch
that,
at a time.
Caller, before we go here, Mastermind 96 says that caller, meaning you, said he had him winning 7-5. Stop crying, babies. Stop lying, cry babies.
Stop crying.
Well,
okay.
I mean, you know what? It's very convenient for all these I don't know, for all these fans of the. I mean, listen, I'm objectively looking at the fight. I thought Loma's kind of old. I don't know if he's going to pull this off. You know, I had before the fight, I was telling everybody I knew Lopez was going to be a lot of trouble. I knew Lopez, had a great chance of winning that fight. I had just seen him come off these 2 devastating wins, knocking out Comey, beating up Nakatani. I'm like, this kid's dangerous. This kid's got power. He likes to go forward, and he can neutralize whatever Loma's got, because he's got the youth and the speed and the power. Haney he had the youth and the speed, but he didn't have any power. Loma wasn't scared to get in there on the exchanges, and when those exchanges were done, the look on his face was just priceless. It was like this kid just started backing up slowly, and he knew. He figured it out. He's like, this guy's got my number. He's got my number. There's no way. And I'm saying this: 2 rounds, 3 rounds, sure. No more than that, though. No more than that. I am in no way delusional. I do not have delusions here. Hey, I'm not going to give Loma more than 3 rounds here, but 2 or 3 rounds, sure. He should have gotten the nod, and he didn't get the nod. And hey, this is 2 weekends in a row of bad decisions.
All right, caller. On that
Rolly
note, we gotta move. We gotta move on. There's a lot of calls, but thank you for calling. All right. Take care.
Call
See ya.
back, brother.
Take care. Bye bye.
All right. Let's take another phone call here. 661. You're on the air. 661.
Yo, what's up, Bucho? I just want to respond to that caller a few calls ago who said that since Haney robbed Loma, now Shakur's the good guy or whatever, and Haney's a villain. No, you dumb, China-hating, garbage human being. It makes Teo the good guy because Teo beat Loma, and he has the best resume out of everybody. And yesterday when you heard me say if I put Loma on my channel, justice will be served, it's not because I want clout from anybody. I'm the most truther on the entire planet. But just like you guys act like it's an illusion that Teo beat Loma, oh, his shoulder was injured, right? You can't accept the fact of what I told you. But you're hearing it here first. Rihanna, Nicki Minaj, and Beyonce just made a song after me. It's going to be on the Renaissance album Part 2. It's not another coincidence. You're just mad that I'm the messenger, and you China haters thought you were going to make America great again or something, right? No. We're the ones who actually made change in the world.
Shadowban. Let's do a second. Shadowban. Let's do a second renaissance on that, all right? Because right now we had a lot of fun. This is boxing.
I just wanted to make that clear. You'll see. All these fucking cracker-ass China haters, you'll see.
Okay. Well, anyways, Shadowban, see ya, man. Take care.
I've never seen a guy with an underbite and an overbite at the same time.
760, you're on the air. 760, you're on the air. 760.
Hey, salute.
What's
Can you
up,
hear
man?
me?
Yes, go ahead.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, this is Don Chingazos. Yeah, I tried warning you guys. I tried preparing you guys for the corruption of Top Rank the other day, but you guys wouldn't have it. You guys
I know about the corruption
and all this shit.
We know about the corruption. Come on.
And I even told Gonzalo the day before we were talking on another panel, and I agreed with everything Gonzalo said that Lomachenko was gonna win on his take. Obviously, Lomachenko's a better fighter, but I mean, what did I tell Gonzalo? I told Gonzalo Haney's gonna get robbed. I mean, Lomachenko's gonna get robbed because that's their agenda right now. Every time I hear Bobby talk about the future, he's always telling me that what's his name? Checker Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Jared Henderson, they're the future of Top Rank. He's been repeating that shit.
But Chingas, brother, do you know that Bob Arum, he filed a complaint about the win of that fight?
No, but people tell me that Checker Stevenson's a generational talent, right? And what happened last night that a lot of people aren't talking about? Murataya beat fucking, what's his name? Nakatila in 1 or 2 rounds. He made it look easy. While when fucking Shakur Stevenson beat Nakatila, people fucking said he was a generational talent over there.
Hey, Don Chingazos. Also, Valdez, Shakur Stevenson's biggest win. Valdez looks like he's shot. He didn't look that great in a 10-rounder yesterday. So, what does that tell you?
No, I think Valdez should have taken that kid out of finished him, Blue Nose. But the thing is, Valdez, he's very undersized for 130, and not just in terms of height. When you look at his fucking physical frame, he has a small frame. His body's more suited for 126, in my opinion, because he's a good fighter, but he just doesn't have the pop at 130 or the size, in my opinion. You know.
But Don, let me ask you, what do you think of Arum saying that Loma won that fight easily?
I think he's just trying to save the face of the company, bro. To tell you the truth, bro, Arum is like 90-something years old. He's not even in charge of what's going on behind the scenes or anything. He just shows up, and he has other people to handle everything.
Well, his son-in-law, Todd DeBoff, he runs the day-to-day.
There's a lot of corruption coming from Top Rank, and last time I was here, I wasn't even trying to say Top Rank was racist. All I was trying to say is that Top Rank has a budget, right? They have money. And they have decisions to make, and they're not trying to push Mexican fighters or Latino fighters. They're spending that budget, spending it on black fighters, and that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's their money, right? They could spend it however they want. It's their decision. But I'm not gonna pretend like they're pushing fucking Mexican fighters, bro, when that's not the case. And you tried telling me that they were pushing Navarrete, but Navarrete was a cherry pick gone wrong for Dogbo. They were really trying to push Dogbo. And they even had Dogbo say that
But
he was going to take
Gingas,
the belt
look
to
at how
Donald Trump.
Navarrete treated Bob too. Demanded always top money, wanted big money, even when he was fighting in an empty arena. And then he left Bob after he finally got some name recognition. And now he re-signed with them. What are they doing, a fight-by-fight basis? So it wasn't like
I
Navarrete
don't know,
showed
but
Bob a lot of
I've
loyalty
seen
either.
Navarrete complain a lot about money. I never seen Shakur Stevenson complain about money, or Garrett Henderson, or any of the guys they're trying to push. They get paid well, bro. And to be real, they get paid with the subscription money from the ESPN. So it's not like they're getting paid based on what they're selling or the viewership that they're bringing. To be real with you, but hey. That's the way
Okay, well, Don Chingazo, that's something to look at.
Operating right now, bro.
Yeah, all right. You're bringing some good points. We should talk about that on the next show, but we got to move on. Thanks for calling, Don Chingazos. Take care, man.
Yeah, my last statement is that Lomachenko won, bro. Like, that was pretty obvious to me. I had it 10-2 or 11-1 for Lomachenko. I did give Haney the last fucking round, but I mean, you don't win the fight just by winning the 12th round. Just because you closed it decent? No.
Yeah, exactly.
It's scored on a round basis, bro. So, yeah, Lomachenko won. There's corruption in Top Rank, and that's evident, you know?
All right.
But, yeah, take care, guys.
All right, take care. Well, we don't know if Top Rank was involved or anything. There certainly was corruption. I think it was the Athletic Commission.
Yeah, exactly. Bucho, my thing is this, too. Like, Bob wouldn't have kept his mouth shut because he's obviously alienated Haney. And I think a lot of that, he doesn't care that he said it publicly because the way Haney moved going into that fight, badmouth saying, oh, he wanted to, make me fight in Ramadan and all this other shit. But did you notice how fucking Loma made a point to talk about Jesus Christ and even did the cross thing? But here's the thing I just want to say real quick, dude. Everybody's saying, well, don't you think because I saw some people saying, well, it could be that because he's Ukrainian and right now everybody's far pro-Ukraine, which is exactly right. But if you're somebody on the left, and I'm saying how this ties in, if say these fucking referees, these judges are just straight CNN watchers, they've talked about and they've mentioned Lomachenko's name on CNN as one of the guys who is enemy of the state of Ukraine. They call him a Russian supporter, and he's an enemy of the state. In fact, he's on a kill list.
Who?
Because of fucking Lomachenko. He's on a Ukrainian government kill list.
He's trying to protect the Orthodox Church. Well, we're not going to get into that right now. But
yes. No, but I'm saying, but my point being, if there's a political angle, like if these, the judges said, fuck it, it's like, I'm not going to give it to this, Russia supporter. I'm just wondering what the fuck possibly could have gave that judge to score those fights, some of those rounds like that. That's all.
Interesting. Luis Torres, thank you for your contribution. He says, don't buy pay-per-views, no more people. Save your money, raza. Streaming the fight from here on. ALV con el pay-per-view pura corrupción. All right? He's basically telling
Bingo.
Boycott.
I'm stream team now myself.
Yeah. All right. That's a super chat. Let's take a phone call here. 619. You're on the air. 619. Please go ahead.
You guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how you guys doing? So I was at the fight last night. All right, I just got back to the airport just now. So, kind of a funny thing. Had the opportunity to sit next to. I mean, it's the first time this happened because I've been to a lot of fights. The guys who were sitting around me, a lot of former fighters, a lot of current fighters, a lot of current trainers, and it was very, very clear last night to see who the Haney fans were, who the Loma supporters were, and who, just the fans of the sport were. And, I'm a fan of the sport. And let me tell you, when the fight ended, by the time we got to maybe the 9th or 10th round, all the Haney fans were quiet in there because they saw him getting his ass whooped for basically 12 rounds. He was getting his head snapped back with left hands, left hand leads, 1-2s, right? I mean, and the thing about that fight is, Lomachenko was pushing the pace about 90% of the time in that fight, and when there wasn't anything going on, Haney wasn't pushing the pace, so it's kind of like you can't sit mid to long range and just jab. That's not enough to beat a guy like Lomachenko. You're not going to get anything done from there, and even the body punching wasn't enough. The Haney fans were out there screaming like, hey, you need to do more, you need to do more, you need to do more, and when they read off the scorecard, like,
they were throwing shit in there, and like when they read out the decision, they were throwing stuff. People were screaming, and I heard a bunch of people while we were walking out of the MGM Grand. Everybody was like, you know what, this is why we still fight, and this is the problem in boxing. You know, the sport is very, very dishonest to its own fans. You know, so it's like, how can you confidently spend your money on this sport, and all you're asking is that the right person that wins the fight, and that's the second week in a row we've seen something like this. I mean, you see something as bad last week as a ref jumping in front of an active exchange to stop a fight to ensure that the guy that they want gets the belt. You know, and it's shit like this that is the reason why that, you know, amateur boxing is the way that it is. You know, it's going to be banned from the Olympics. Same shit. You know, so a lot of people were saying, you know, moving forward, this is why we still fight. Boxing does it to itself. You know?
Hey, caller.
Yes, sir.
Hey, caller, you were at the fight last night, so you got the atmosphere of it, and I want to tell you something. On the broadcast, on the ESPN broadcast, I don't know if it was a hot mic type of thing after the fight. It was well after the fight. It was well after the in-ring interviews and all this. I don't know if Bradley knew that his mic was hot, but because he was saying it in a tone of voice where he wasn't really announcing his voice. He wasn't really like, you know, enunciating like he was on mic. He was just sounding like he was just talking.
Right.
But he said, man, right. He goes, you know what this reminds me of is the hell that's going to rain down on Haney, because this is, you know what this feels like in this arena right now? This feels like when I got that decision over Pacquiao. He goes, man, this shit.
And that's an unpopular opinion, because I tell people all the time, I thought Pacquiao lost, 3 out of the 4 times they fought? But, you know, of course they're going to go with the favorite. But listen to the attitude.
No, not Marquez. Caller, not Marquez. Talking about Bradley.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Brad. Yeah. I mean,
Timothy Bradley said on the microphone, and I don't know if you knew he was live, but he said this atmosphere in here of people just like, fuck this, and booing, and fucking, you know, Haney celebrating, and everybody else telling him to fucking booing over him, and he goes, this feels just like when I got that decision over Pacquiao, man. People just came down on me.
It just shows you that with stuff like that, and even all the way up to now, look at the attitude of the people calling in, like the caller a few callers ago. You know, you have to convince the judges. I used to box as amateur. I used to fight Muay Thai as a pro. Okay, there's corruption at every level, point blank, period. Right, and you know.
All right, caller, we gotta move on, man. There's a lot of calls here, but thanks for calling.
Thanks for taking my call, man. Appreciate it.
Take care, man.
So here's a guy who was in the ring. He was there last night, and even said he was surrounded by trainers and fighters, and they were all fucking bullshit. To the point about the guy with it was just, well, you got to convince the judges. But like fucking like what's his name said, this feels like what happened with me. And remember the hell he got after that Pacquiao decision? I'm just telling you, this did not help Haney's going forward. I'm telling you right now.
Jimmy's going to be very interesting how he's going to react later on. Gonzalo, can I read a super chat and then you can go in? Santos Romo, he says, thank you for your contribution. He says, I was at the event and there wasn't a peep from the Haney fans after the second round. Only time they got up is when the decision was announced. They know what they saw. BDA best show on YouTube. Thank you, man. Thank you, Santos. And he was there at the fight as well.
Thank you, Santos.
Gonzalo.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it looks like people are going extra far to protect that oath that the American got, especially like Devin Haney, a guy that considers that oath very, very important because he don't got the power. So obviously moving forward, a lot depends. His career depends on that oath. And people are feeding into that shit. I'm talking about the judges.
The saga continued with Floyd Mayweather. I think it was just incompetence, guys. And I'll tell you something else, just to everybody with the conspiracy thing. Guys, it works out better for Top Rank if Haney loses. I mean, assuming you're going to try to make further fights with the kid and dealing with his dad, it's better for Top Rank if Haney loses monetarily. I'm just saying, like when
Shakur
when they go to
versus
make
Lomachenko for the undisputed title.
Say
How
what?
does that sound? Imagine Shakur Stevenson versus Vasily Lomachenko for the undisputed lightweight championship.
Exactly.
Doesn't
Well, I
that
mean,
sound
yeah, the
great?
titles stay in house. I mean, Shakur or not, the titles stay in house if they stay with Lomachenko. Now they have to negotiate with Haney. That's the risk. The risk of not extending before this fight is Haney's taking the risk that if he loses, his stock goes down. And if he wins, his stock goes up. So honestly, if you look at it, if you laid it all out, I don't think fucking Top Rank gives a shit. I don't think Bob especially fucking even cares about either one of these guys, to be honest. I mean, he cares about him, but like, dude, he's seen a zillion of both of these guys. So it's like, okay, look, there's no reason for Top Rank to try to rig up a fight where Haney wins and then leaves as a free agent. And they have to kiss his balls now to make this fight. They're a pain in the ass to deal with.
Occasions, Pete, Bob has said that he's the easiest guy I've ever dealt with. He signs the contract. The first offer we sent to him, he signs it. Never hear shit from him. Never complains about anything.
Well,
Whereas
yeah, I mean,
Haney
he's
is
already
like
under
dragging.
contract, period. That's it. I mean, that's all there is. Easy or hard. Yeah.
And why did the zone leave him a go?
Lomachenko's too complacent. Yeah, Lomachenko's too complacent.
Why did the
You're
zone let Haney go?
Yeah, they're a pain in the fucking ass. And that's what in the week leading up to this fight, and Haney's like, I'm giving him the chance. I'm giving him the chance. You know, if you listen to Lomachenko, he goes, listen, he signed a 3-fight deal with Top Rank. Part of the deal that when he signed his 3-fight deal was to fight me. In other words, he's obligated to this fight. He's been obligated from the day he signed with Top Rank for this fight. He took Kambosos, obviously. He took the Kambosos fight. Okay, fine. But that rematch, he understood that his next 2 fights were going to, one of them has to be Lomachenko. So he's the one that put it off
months. And it took him months to sign the fucking paperwork.
All right,
Lomachenko winning would have been good for the sport because him fighting Shakur Stevenson would have been a more exciting fight because Lomachenko, when he lands, he actually tries to hurt you and the crowd gets excited. Aside from Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward, I didn't hear anybody else when Haney landed that people are hooting and hollering.
Exactly.
Devin Haney's exciting. No, he's not. He can't crack an egg, but the other guy, he'll go and try to hurt you.
Well, Gonzalo, it makes you say, like, question was, like, more I think about what that guy said, it's like, when he called, he's like, oh, well, so it goes to show you how great Lomachenko is. Now fucking Haney's the best of all time because of what the judges said. So you're willing to admit, you know what I mean? You wouldn't say that Haney won, but he's the best of all time because he got a bad decision. Like, well, how do you square that with yourself?
Yeah, and I take that back to Jimmy. He does hit. He hits, but he doesn't hit to like hurt you or knock you out. Especially if you're well conditioned, like Lomachenko.
He doesn't plant his feet. Yeah, he doesn't plant his feet for it. He's trying to get out of there. And again, like if you go back and watch that fight, guys, you'll see half those body punches of the 50 body punches. Again, half his power shots were to the body. So we only hit a fraction of the shots to the head. And half of those were off the arms or they missed or just grazed his stomach. That's not the same as a straight left that snaps a dude's head back. And again, you factor in that he was literally hurt on 3 separate occasions, like hurt. And who pushed it, like Shakur kept saying, what's a big part of it, what's supposed to be the criteria, was who's pushing the fight. Who's bringing them, setting the pace? That was all Lomachenko. And all the criteria is Lomachenko. I gave that fight to Lomachenko. So it's not crying. It's just disgust. It's disgust.
Crying. By the way,
that's generalship. Taking the fight where you want to take it, that's generalship.
You're giving them all these extra credit points for going on the body, and I get it. Body punches do count. But supposedly, you said you hurt Lomachenko to the body and basically that you took the air out of the tires. But fucking Lomachenko beat you up in the 10th and the 11th. Obviously, the 12th both fighters are going to be tired. But I wouldn't attribute that because of Haney's body punching that Lomachenko kind of like stepped off the gas a little bit. No, it wasn't because of that. Because in the end of the day, when you hit to the body, you're trying to hurt somebody. You're trying to like weaken them up. And I don't think Haney did that, dude. He didn't take the air out of his tires.
And can I just say one thing? I think he should move down to 130 and fucking unify down there if he stays in boxing. Because just imagine now if he fought guys smaller than him. Just imagine if he has to do what he has to do to beat these bigger guys. Imagine if he was fighting guys, if he was the Haney in there, We saw what he did to Rigondeaux.
All right, Jimmy,
That's the only
we gotta
right,
move
okay.
on to some calls and a super chat here from Bushido Ki. He says, I was at the fight last night and the crowd loved Lomachenko. When Devin Haney got the decision, the boos were deafening. It was a disgusting feeling. This stuff ruins boxing. So another person that was at the fight, and he says that everybody was booing. Well, we heard it, man, of course. Let's take a phone call here. 716, you're on the air.
Hey, so I've been a long time listener of the show. I really like the stuff you guys do. I just want to say that people that were saying, there's a common point that people are saying that, like, Tank would beat Haney or Haney needs to go away from Tank after this performance. I don't buy that at all. That's delusional. Just because you beat Ryan Garcia doesn't make you that guy. I think if Tank was in the ring with either of those guys, he would lose a pretty lopsided decision. And I had to fight 115 to 113 for Loma.
Exactly.
All right.
Speaking of Ryan, even Ryan Garcia said fucking Loma got robbed.
Yeah. By the way,
all right, well, that's all I wanted to say, guys. Have a great day. See you.
All right, man. Take care. See ya. All right. Let's get another phone call in here. 813, you're on the air. 813.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the fight, man, and I was disappointed. I mean, for me, Loma won the fight. I mean, I don't know how they give it to Haney. I mean, I don't know. Boxing is really turning corrupt. From the fight of the, what's this guy's name? Rowley. That they stopped the fight out of nowhere, you know, because everybody knew what it was for. And then Loma trying his best. He even dove him. That's why his leg was like, he almost went by, I think it was the 10th round. He stunned him. Yeah, I don't get it how these people, that ref, these judges, that one especially, they didn't give him the 10th round. I don't know. It's just taking, but you're right. Like you said, man, don't buy pay-per-view. I ain't going to do it anymore.
Perfect.
That's it, man.
Perfect.
Boxing.
Perfect.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, I agree with you, man, completely. That 10th round.
This fight reminds me of the Pacquiao versus Horn. You remember that fight? Pacquiao was always hitting him and still give it a horn because of body shots.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything.
All right, man. Take care. See ya.
Bucho, do you hear the theme right now? This is what I mean by not good for boxing. You got people saying never buying him again, done with this.
Uh-huh.
It's surprising. Like, you go into Twitter, go into the hashtags and just go #Loma1, and you see them just inundated with this sport sucks. Usually it's robbery. There'll be that type of shit, but it's surprising how many people are saying, I'm just done with this garbage.
Yeah,
it did itself no favors.
Jimmy, I wrote a question here that I forgot to ask you guys. Does this hurt boxing? And you're answering it right now.
For me, I don't get too hung up in the incompetence and this shit. I don't know, man. I saw the fight. I saw Loma win the fight. I don't know. For me, that's all I fucking. Honestly, I feel bad for Loma, but nothing changes about what the breakdown of the fight with Haney. You know, the fucking guy just got no fucking power. He's got reach and he's got weight on guys that gives him a little bit of punch resistance. That's really, for everything else, the guy's just.
Well, no, Pete, in the chat we have Jalem who says, "Who has the belts?" That's all that matters. Who has the belts? Tell me. Tell me.
He's a good boxer, Pete. He's a good boxer, but that doesn't mean he still won. He lost. He's a good boxer, but he lost. The other guy was better.
He's an all right boxer, and he lost. I'm just saying.
Who has the belts?
That's all that matters.
That's it. And the judges, who cares? The judges. What matters is what the judge. What matters is what the judges say.
He's fucking good. He's real good. But Lomachenko's better.
Who has?
But what Bucho's saying, he's got the belts because of what that kid said. Okay, let's see him turn that into money. Let's see him turn that into fucking. You know what I mean? Because he left with all those belts in his hand under a fucking chorus of boos. I'm sure when he goes on Twitter, he's not going to feel like a champion. He's going to feel persecuted, and he's going to act like a victim.
If Haney doesn't take, Jimmy, if Haney doesn't take a rematch, accept a rematch, I really hope Devin Haney fans are going to call him out on that because they even say
First of all,
it was a close fight. They say it was a close fight.
You just heard from a Haney fan.
Give him a rematch.
Give him a rematch.
This fight happened in the first place. The reason this fight happened in the first place is because they had a fucking gun to his head contractually. He couldn't have not fought this fight. I know the talking point is that I gave Loma the shot. No, you signed up for 2 easy ass fights in order to get the third one against Loma. That's what the whole fucking relationship is. And you had to, or else they would have shelved your ass. They would have put you on the fucking shelf like Mikey Garcia.
Exactly.
You don't want to fight the fight. They don't want the third fight has to be this fight. Sit on the fucking shelf. So you had to do it with a gun to your head. You got a 9 a.m. weigh-in. You fucking got to you threatened to fucking probably blow weight and blow the undisputed, blow all the belts out of there and ruin the entire promotion if they didn't let you weigh in at 9 o'clock in the morning. All right. So you're full of fucking shit. He's a pain in the ass, and he's a pain in the ass. He's not handling it with any kind of class. He's not handling it with any kind of, humility. Every pro out there, I think 95% of these pros out there picked Haney. I mean, honestly, I was shocked that these pros were picking Haney. And the reason that afterwards they're all keeping it real is because they actually gave a breakdown of the fight. He's too young, too good of a jab, too good of a boxer.
Athletic.
He's just too big and too strong for Lomachenko. And when that didn't occur, when that didn't play out last night, which it did not, he wasn't faster. His jab was negated. He wasn't stronger. He was fucking hurt. Lomachenko was not hurt. Jimmy's right. The body shots, the only thing that those body shots accomplished was a clean punch in an otherwise very confusing, fast-paced fight. They were one clean looping punch. One. Didn't make Lomachenko change direction for a second. Didn't make Lomachenko stop punching for a second. Didn't make Lomachenko stop coming forward. Didn't even interrupt him. All right? But it was to a 78-year-old man at a ring apron, he can see that punch.
All right.
I mean, that's a punch you can see.
All right. We gotta take another phone call because these guys have been waiting for a long time, and I have to take a piss so bad, man. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you guys talk to this caller. Who is he? With number 347? You're on the air. 347.
Los Angeles.
347.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
Is this MMA?
Haney, where I think. Listen, I knew Haney was going to win. I knew Haney was going to beat him. I've been saying this for years. Anybody could go back to old H Money live streams. I've been saying that Haney was going to beat Lomachenko, but I think it was a close fight. I think that Devin Haney, the body shots were unnoticed. I think he could have did a little more, but I do think he won the fight. Lomachenko was using dirty tactics. I think, Devin Haney demolished, destroyed, exposed Lomachenko.
A lot of races. MMA, it's been a long time. You can't come back with that.
We're gonna listen to this.
Come on.
Listen. A lot of racist, Trump supporter, Haney, haters. Listen, they hate Devin Haney. They hate black fighters. The LDBC was right. LDBC strong. Listen, let me say this.
Really? Because the LDBC is saying, a lot of the LDBC is saying Loma got robbed.
Look.
So what do you got to say to that?
They're mad.
MMA champ. Do you think that Haney won that fight last night? Like clearly,
he's gone.
That's what he's saying.
Tripping fool.
Yeah.
Peace.
Hey, you tripping fool?
He's gone. He hung up. I didn't kick him out. He hung up. I was gonna. Was there a super chat here? Hold on. No, I was gonna. Fuck. I'm getting so confused now. Breakfast. I gotta go take a leak for real, guys. I haven't.
Please don't take a leak and leave us on a phone with someone who's gonna fucking
that's
talk about how 2 years ago we said Haney was gonna win, but it can't explain how he actually did it.
Jimmy, that's why I stayed. When I heard he was MMA, I'm like, okay, wait, I can't go to the bathroom. 760.
It's because the Trump supporters. Really, great take, dude. Great take. Why don't you go back to recess now and let the men talk about boxing?
It's because this saying is true, Jimmy. It's like a lot of people picked Haney because they were assuming that a good, bigger man beats a smaller, good man. But really, Lomachenko is he's a great fighter. So he's not only is he good, yeah, Haney's also good, but this guy's actually great. He's better than Haney. Although he's smaller, that was enough to rival and beat Haney, in my opinion. But then again,
All right, call. We got a call. 760, you're on the air. 760.
Oh, what?
Yes, you're
Can
on.
you guys hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I heard there's like a rumor. I just want what you guys think that maybe Top Rank made a secret deal with Devin Haney, because I hate to say it, but it makes sense. But I know you guys are saying that Loma would probably be better for Top Rank, but I don't think that sells quite as much as Shakur versus Haney. And I feel like he doesn't really have anywhere to go. He's not going to beat anyone at 140.
He's not going to fight
regardless,
Shakur.
140 still has the best, or what do you call it? Top Rank still has the best fighters at 140. So
yeah, but caller, he's not going to fight Shakur. That's not going to happen. They know it's not going to happen. They had to tie him in knots to get him to fight a guy who was contractually obligated to fight, and it still took 5 months to get the fight across the line. The whole time, Haney was publicly bad-mouthing the promotion. He's not going to fight Shakur. I can bet your life on that. Whereas Loma definitely would have fought him.
Andre then, because like he doesn't really have anywhere to go, in my opinion.
No, there I agree with you.
Because
Jimmy, are you so sure that he's not going to fight Shakur? Are you really confident about that? Because I'm not too sure myself. He might.
Yeah, he's not going to fight Shakur. That's why Shakur ran from the ring, goes, well, I'm number one. And then fucking Shakur goes, not for long. And then he, bolted from the ring. I was just watching it right now. That's why Shakur came up into the fucking ring.
Shakur Haney would be an absolute firefight. Who are you kidding? That'd be like Hagler Hearns.
I want to see that fight. I think it'd be really good, and I think Shakur schools him, to be honest. But
someone's definitely going to sleep.
I thought Loma won. I'm a little bit more calm now. I was like really mad last night, but I thought Loma won. But this is what I think. He should have heeded the old adage of boxing: never leave it in the hands of the judges. Like I just, I don't know. Like I felt like he could have got him out there like the 10th, 11th round, and he just let off the gas. Like he should have went for the KO.
But Carlo, when you're that small, right, you can't just jump in because you can run into something, and he couldn't afford a knockdown because to make it a 10-8 round, right? So even if it's not balanced, so he had to be, when you're that much shorter, he had a 5-inch reach advantage in the arms, so he had to be very careful on how to come in. Like you could see, like when Bradley was saying, he's got it down now. He's got his angle, his pace, because what he was talking about is Haney does a certain thing, he gets the timing, and then he knows when to jump in. Like so, he was looking for that, yes, but he could have jumped in a little bit more. But when you're 35 years old, when you throw those combinations with the power that he was putting on him in the 10th and 9th round, like that takes a lot out of you. So I think, he might have been a little old. If he was 27, absolutely would have stopped that dude. Absolutely. Prime Loma would have fucking stopped Haney.
That's true, but I like what Haney was doing with Loma. I like the fact that when Loma was jumping in, he was going straight to the body, bro. Like that punch was becoming even more effective, even though Haney's not much of a puncher.
But let me ask you, how do you rate effectiveness? It wasn't slowing Loma down. Haney was the one breathing with his mouth open.
It did kind of slow him down, though. It's not like it completely slowed him down, but it did kind of slow him down. That's why in the 11th round, when he had him on the rope,
in the last 4 rounds, Haney's fucking output dribbled down to nothing, whereas Lomachenko upped his work rate. He threw more punches in the last half of the fight than he did in the first half. And Vegas had Haney a 5-1 underdog, meaning Haney needed a knockout to win the fight, according to Vegas.
Who do you guys think won the 12? I thought Loma still won.
Who won the 12th round, he asks. Who won the 12th round?
Haney.
I still think Loma won it, personally.
Yeah,
I had it for Haney,
I'm on the fence. I have to look at it again. I'm not positive that fucking Haney won that 12th round.
I had it for Haney, but then at the same time, Gonzalo mentioned something interesting. It's true because in the last 30 seconds of that round, the commentators, Dimitri Bradley and Andre Ward, were saying somebody has to close. meaning nobody has really won the round yet. There's still a possibility for somebody to win the round, and so it was a very close round, in my opinion. But anyway,
you know how what Henry did for the punches.
A close round. It was a close round, but remember, the close rounds goes to Haney. Okay, don't forget.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. That's how it works. You just give it.
Yeah. You never leave it in the hands of the judges. Never.
In the reason why he got away from his jab,
I like
is
Manny
because
Stewart.
he was
He's probably
getting
my favorite.
pieced off when he threw his jab.
The way he trained those killers, like Tommy Hearns, just to go for the KO, because he knew boxing's corrupt, man. It's corrupt. You know, they have their favorite fighters, and Haney obviously has connections. So
all right,
I know what you're saying. Loma was a smaller fighter, but he had to go for
this
the
is pretty embarrassing for Haney. Either way, win or lose, this is very embarrassing for Haney because what Lomachenko did to Rigondeaux, right? Like, you should have done the same or somewhat the same to Loma. Did you? You claimed you're better skilled, you're stronger, you're bigger, and all this shit. What happened? You got your mouth shut
Exactly. The younger guy, he was supposed to completely dominate. He was supposed to completely dominate Lomachenko, to be honest, based on that the athleticism and the young and whatever. Caller, we gotta move on. Thank you for calling. All right, you have a good day. Take care.
All right, nice talking to you.
Peace, but he's not stronger. That's the thing. The only thing that he is, but obviously you can't change that, Gypsy. The only thing that he is age. You cannot reverse the hands of time. Obviously, he's younger, but everything else is not true because he proved that. Lomachenko proved everything wrong. Even the dirty fighting, that proved to be a lie. We knew that. So everything that come out of that kid's mouth, obviously now he got no credibility. Everything is a farce.
Yeah, and he was trying to convince himself with that talk, but he was saying it. I'm bigger, stronger, faster. I hit harder. Like okay. Where was it? Because I'll tell you right now, who was hurt? Who did go look at his 7th round in the stiff leg, that left leg went completely stiff. He bounced up off the canvas with it. And I'm like, oh shit, jump on him. But there was only like 9-10 seconds left.
Guys,
but he was wrong.
Did Devin Haney fight like the bigger, stronger guy? Did he fight like the bigger, stronger guy?
Bro,
that's actually worse. That's actually worse because when you cannot lie about that. He is bigger. He weighs more. He's bigger and he's younger, but that's actually worse because when you're bigger and you're younger, you're supposed to win, like dominate, but he didn't.
Well, Andre Ward started talking about how good he was doing fighting backwards. This wasn't supposed to be his fight going backwards. But instead he was trying to look at the positive of the fact that Lomachenko was pushing the much bigger guy around the ring. He was setting the pace. And to a fighter, that's everything, who's setting the pace, because you're controlling the fucking round. You're the ring general. Like, I don't think these fucking idiot referees, judges have a clue.
Of course not. Of course not.
Lomachenko lands a quick 1-2 or a 2-1. When Lomachenko lands a 2-1 and maybe Haney's dropping one shot at a time, Lomachenko lands those 2 just as quickly as Haney lands that 1. So Lomachenko landing 2 and he makes his punches sound like 1, and the judges are missing that combo.
All right, guys. I need to read a super chat, and then we got a lot of calls, man. This is insane. I don't think we've ever had this many calls. Bushido Ki, thank you for your contribution. He says, if Donald Trump was president, we would have never gone to war with Russia, and Lomachenko would have achieved his dream to be undisputed. This is Biden's fault. Biden robbed Lomachenko. That's a nice way of connecting everything. So it all goes back to Joe Biden. Yeah. All right, guys, I got.
They might as well put him in as a referee, as a fucking judge. I mean,
a judge. Yeah, of course. Sleepy Joe there. 956. You're on the air. 956.
Hey, hello. I'm here from South Texas. Hey, I was just reflecting. I was watching this fight, and I was just really, really disappointed. I've been watching fighting since I was like 15, and I'm like 33 right now, and it's really saddening because I really was thinking that, people were discussing that, boxing is a dying sport, and like, my friends are always talking about NFL and everything. It's like legit, and now it's just the outcome of this fight was just, it was like a hit in the gut, I was just kind of like, I just couldn't believe it, and I was just shocked. I was just watching this whole thing, and the outcome, I was just really distraught, and the only concern that I have is like I just hope the integrity of the sport is going to continue. But like, it's going to be a lot of work for boxing. I hope this is like a wake up call for boxing. I still have faith. I mean, there's a lot of good boxers out there, and I'm just hoping that this is going to be a good opportunity for like to fix this whole corruption, because at this point right now it's just sickening to watch something like that to be robbed, and it's just going to destroy the whole sport.
All right. Anything else, caller?
No, that's it. I just wanted to just vent out a little bit, but yeah, just thank you for like letting me share those thoughts. But I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. Take
Good
care.
call.
Yeah, it's true, but it's not the first time. That's the thing. We always get this. Always happens. It's not the first time. We get riled up. We complain about the robbery, but then nothing changes, and we still here watching boxing.
Jack Catterall.
Hey,
yeah,
it don't even have to be in the United States, man. It don't even have to be in the U.S. because we have 2 back-to-back bad decisions, and next week, because this week, all the Irish fighters, including that woman, lost. So now next week you got Conlon against Bernal Lopez. Is that next week?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yes.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
If it is, they're gonna try to take off. They're gonna try to take all those losses back when that fool goes over to Ireland, and that could go that way. So yeah, it's like Murphy's laws. Bad things come in threes.
Gonzalo, did you say Katie Taylor lost last night?
I heard. I don't watch women's boxing, but I heard
it too.
The other 2 Irish boxers, they lost as well. So maybe next week when I don't know if it's Venado. I think it's Mauricio Lara. Actually, I take that back. But yeah, he's fighting soon.
Yeah, then the Maloney got fucking starched.
You guys know what happened to Jack Catterall? What he's gonna do next?
Well, I don't know. He should have gotten a rematch, but I don't know. I don't know what's happening with him, to be honest.
Now the Teofimo fight, is that next weekend?
No, next weekend is the Irish guy Conlon against. I was confusing with Lara or Lopez. It's Lara, I think. The one
no, but I was right. Lopez is fighting. Venado's fighting Conlon in Ireland, and Mauricio Lara's fighting Liam Wood.
Exactly. Yes.
In England. Yeah, but when he goes over there, they might try to be like, okay, we lost because all our fighters, including that woman, lost this week. And it doesn't have to be in the United States. They could rob that fool in Ireland because that guy's a good boxer. But Bernal's going to go for the knockout. Bernal got good legs. I think he'll get him. That's just my opinion.
Especially after he got knocked out. I mean, it's possible to stop him, apparently. All right, let's take another phone call. 860, you're on the air. 860.
Hello, how y'all doing today? What up, BDA?
This is
y'all can hear me? Everybody can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yep.
All right, this is the only thing with Lomachenko that I was disappointed. They say he was the greatest. They say he was better than Muhammad Ali. This is coming out of Bob Arum's mouth, first off. He's better than Muhammad Ali. He's better than Floyd. He's better than this. And
when
it's like every time I see it, like I used to like him. I used to like him. Bob Arum.
Yeah, Bob Arum. But who is Bob Arum? He's a promoter. But go ahead.
Okay. And then everybody was saying, all right, so everybody's saying he's a matrix. He's this, he's that. So then now when I watch him fight, I'm very critical of everything I see with him. First off, both of them is not pay-per-view fighters. They shouldn't have been on pay-per-view. And then when I'm watching the fight, I was expecting him to stop Devin Haney, and it's just like, for the way they hyped him up, he's not as good as what they.
He was the 3-1 underdog. Vegas had Loma the 3-1 underdog.
He's a good. Loma is a good fighter, but who they comparing him to? He's not on that level.
Well, who compared him against? Wait, hold on. Who compared him to Ali? You said Bob Arum, right?
Bob Arum. And Bob Arum been watching fight. First of all, I'm 45 years old. I've been watching boxing since I was 10.
Okay. So listen, caller. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, you thought he was gonna stop Devin Haney, or what did you say?
Yeah, because first off, I don't even like Devin Haney. My favorite fighter is Tank Davis off rip. Okay. And then after that is Shakur Stevenson. And then after that is Errol Spence Jr. Those are my 3 top hitters right there. Boom. And I'm not going to be
that's great. That's good to know.
I can name each one of these guys that makes me like that.
You should fix that little thing.
But Carla, what do you think of Shakur prior to the fight saying that he thought Haney was going to smoke Lomachenko, but after the fight he thought Lomachenko got robbed. He thought he won 8-4. And what you're quoting Bob of is before he even started fighting, he was promoting Lomachenko. He said he has the potential coming out of the amateurs with that amateur record to do these certain things. He never said he was better than those guys. He said he had the potential.
Shakur had a good amateur record. Devin Haney had a good amateur record. If you want to go on amateur record, that would make Devin Haney one of the most best people out here. Because all they used to talk about how much he sparred. His amateur. I don't want to hear nothing about no amateurs. We talk about when we in the pros now. And that's what y'all was talking about.
Okay. All right. Take a breath for 1 second. You don't want to hear nothing about the amateurs. If you're saying going off amateurs, Haney did better. Lomachenko amateur record destroys Haney, but because of his amateur record, he was able to come in and win a world title in his third professional fight. I think discourse is you talk, I talk.
Well, listen, caller, I don't know what you bring up with some caller. I don't know what you bring up. What some people said about Lomachenko, whether he was the next Ali or the Floyd Mayweather, or whatever. We don't. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is what happened yesterday night. He won the fight. He should have won the fight. He should be undisputed. He should be a three-time division. He's a three-time division champion and should have been undisputed champion yesterday night. That's what should have happened. That's what happened. It's not called hype, Joe. If you get robbed,
easy work last night, and Lomachenko did not go all the way in. He should have supposed to finish.
Well, caller. Did you say he was
caller? You should let him finish his sentence.
Did you say it was easy work?
Man, that's how it works.
Caller, did you say it was easy work from Haney? What'd you say?
It should have been easy work, is what he said.
I said the way Haney looked last night. First off, Haney after the third round looked like a piece of shit. That's hands down. On a boxing, if you looked at his skill, the way he was stepping back, his footwork, you could tell he was straight. He did not have the energy. If Lomachenko would have went all out, he would have been able to finish Haney by the 10th round easy.
Caller. I need you to take into account. Caller. I'm gonna have to mute you because you can't fucking shut up. You need to understand that Lomachenko is a smaller guy. He's 35 years old. Take that into account, though. I mean, I think in your opinion, in your expert opinion, he should have maybe stopped or done more against Devin Haney after the second round. But again, factor in the fact that he has some handicaps, right? Physical handicaps and the age. Of course.
In that case, he's better than Floyd.
I think I can make a point about that. So when Floyd,
what's your point?
I'm sorry.
What's your point? That Bob Arum said that he's an ex-Ali?
I don't know if I'm talking about something, but when Floyd Mayweather fought Canelo, he was able to overcome handicaps, being a smaller man.
He wasn't that small. They were both 5'8", and Floyd had already fought at 154.
Canelo was shorter.
No, Floyd
he wasn't that small. He wasn't that small.
Or less.
He wasn't that small at that time. At the time, he wasn't that small. At that time, he wasn't that small. And even for some reason, he had to bring Canelo at 152. But Floyd already had fights at 154, so he's not that small. I mean, there wasn't even a big difference.
The only reason why I'm bringing up Floyd because this is one of the people who they compared him to. That's it. It's just like, all right.
Yeah. Compared to him as an amateur, coming out of the amateurs is when Bob made that comparison.
Caller, I mean, you keep banging on about they compare. Who cares what they said? All right, he's not Floyd. He's not this. It seems like you don't like. Who cares?
I'll make another point. You remember the time he was about to fight and they erased his two losses off his record. I just feel like they were just doing a lot for Lomachenko. This is his time.
You know what they do a lot for? What they do a lot for is American fighters that don't deserve wins, and they give them those wins on a silver platter. We have Andre Ward. He didn't beat Kovalev. Nobody cares. He got robbed again. That's what happened. So Lomachenko didn't get anything on a silver platter. If Lomachenko would be protected, he wouldn't have lost against Salido. And by the way, he got a title shot in the second professional fight. Well, you're saying
I'm
that.
I'm just saying, look, that's why when we started off the conversation, I named my three fighters. So you can name Andre Ward. I don't care. That's cool. I named my three fighters.
I don't care I don't give a shit.
Can I just finish this one point?
Go ahead.
My three fighters that I named did not have no easy way in. They all fight. They always impress. Like I said, Tank always come. He shows up. He trains hard. He comes out. He shows out. He impressed. I said I like Earl Spence.
All right, caller, brother, come on, dude. Tank Davis, he fights handpicked no-hopers,
Caller, we can destroy your, like, Tank Davis. You're mentioning Tank Davis. I mean, come on, are you serious?
That's what he said. Tank Davis, yeah, handpicked no-hopers.
He's not even a champion.
How many losses has Muhammad Ali had?
All right. And then I named my third fighter who I named. I was like Shakur Stevenson. I had 3 fighters who I named, but you named Andre Ward. The 3 fighters who, no matter, you can say.
No, I named Andre Ward to prove to you that Americans get to see. The reason why I brought the reason why I brought up Andre Ward is to show you how Americans, they get it so easy over there. They got it easy. They got the decisions. That's how it works. All right. Lomachenko didn't have it easy. I know you want to believe that because Bob Arum said he's an ex-Ali. Who gives a shit? The facts are what the facts are. The facts are what happens in the ring and the results.
Like he was taking on one of the easy fighters. I felt like if it was an American fighter, he was taking on one of the easy fighters.
Hold on, Gypsy. He was taking on one of the easy fighters in Haney. That's one of the easy fighters. You say you're a fan of. You say you're a fan of Tank because of what he gets things done. But yet it's Loma taking on easy fighters. Tank fights handpicked no-hopers, dude. Acknowledge that.
No, he doesn't want to know. And then he has Tank Davis as a... listen, caller, thanks for calling. We're going to move on. Call back again next time, all right? We got a lot of calls. Take care.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, seriously.
Who do you guys favor if Floyd was the same size as Lomachenko? Loma or Floyd? Think about that for a few seconds.
Exactly.
You would have fucking annihilated him with a barrage of punches, bro. Floyd, whenever somebody threw a barrage of punches, he would shell up.
Yeah, he would clinch. Even in that Pacquiao fight.
Prime to prime. Yeah, prime to prime. I don't know, because Floyd was a fucking fabulous fighter at 130. He really was.
I don't know, man.
I think that would be an unbelievable fight. I think it'd be a great fight. It would be a pick'em, and I'm just being honest.
I think Castillo proved that,
I think Loma will pick him apart. Man,
I think the volume, he wouldn't be able to deal with him.
Mayweather is way too conserved for Loma.
Yeah, and these people down at 130, dude. He didn't fight nowhere near. You're thinking about Floyd today. If you're talking about Floyd style today, that Philly shuffle shit wasn't the way he was doing back then. Nowhere near the way he does today.
Okay, hold on, guys. Let's not get into a hypothetical fight here. But I just want to say this: it seems like some people really hated that supposedly Lomachenko was promoted. Like it seems like because they used to call him the Matrix. They didn't like that. That Bob Arum said that he was the next Ali. They didn't like that. So they always.
We try to explain to him why that was. You got a kid coming. One of the best all-time amateur fighters of all, right? You're the guy who signs him. You're Bob, right? You signed a kid coming out of the amateurs with some insane amateur record, 2-time gold medalist. So you're going to say things about him to prop him up. But in one breath, he says, I don't like them because they said all these things. And then you say, well, they said these things to the images. I don't hear about the images. Okay.
And who said it? Who fucking said it? The guy who said it was Bob Arum. The guy who said it was Bob Arum. So let's shut the fuck up. It's not like everybody was saying. And who gives a shit? I mean, man, these people.
But it's right.
When he was hold on. When he was on the warpath, though, like these fighters get started a little later, especially the Eastern Europeans. That's what I'm referring to. But by the time they pay attention to those guys, they're kind of like on the downslide. But still, Lomachenko, great fighter. He did enough to beat Haney. Kind of reminds me of like Chocolatito Gonzalez. He had been on the warpath, beating everybody, but nobody cared to look down his way and pay attention to the great fighter he was until he was much older. Against the younger fighters coming up, then they said, "Oh, I want to see what he's about." Supposedly, he was the next big thing, like real great. But look, he's not. Well, obviously, he's aging. He's not the same fighter he was 5-6 years ago, and that's the same situation.
No, they just want to come here and say Lomachenko is not that great. That's what they want to come here and say. And then my favorite facts there is Tank Davis. Like, okay, man, geez, I mean, are you fucking serious? These guys don't know shit. I mean,
comparing lost to Salido. He didn't lose to Salido. He was robbed against Salido. And he came off of, 400 fucking amateur fights where he lost one or twice? I don't know, once or twice?
495 and 1 or something, yeah. And my thing too, Gypsy, my thing is this. How can you say in one breath that... All right. your favorite fighter is Tank Davis because he gets it done, and then in the same breath say, but Loma should have beat Haney because he was an easy pick. It's like, how do you square that?
Chocolatito, Golovkin, he had 20 title defenses. Nobody cared about everything he did in middleweight.
Nobody cared. But my favorite, no, I don't care about the guy. But Tank Davis is my favorite boxer. He's so talented. Let's take a phone call.
So he's 40. When everybody ducking him, that's when they say, well, he's not that guy.
This is a joke.
Because they will always keep adjusting until they put that fool on the brink of like where he's real old. Then you got the younger guys. And they're like the Pharisees. They will never believe. They will never believe.
All right, Gonzalo, we got to take a phone call. 470 on the air, 470.
Hey, what's up, guys? I called in last night. You guys are having a good debate today, so I wanted to call in today. So I heard the previous caller. I'll just put it this way, right? I think like Loma fans, I would call Loma an A fighter. Okay, he is. But y'all and the other Loma fans, y'all are trying to turn him into this A-plus fighter. He's not. I heard you guys ask the question, would he beat? Absolutely not. He would never beat Floyd, Brian Floyd. That would never happen.
Yes, he
would.
He's
not even on a Manny Pacquiao.
Yes, he would. Yes,
he's not even on a Manny Pacquiao.
No,
he's not even on a Manny. He's not even on a Manny Pacquiao.
Yes, he would beat
he's
Floyd.
Not on that level.
How's that? He would beat Floyd. He would beat Floyd.
And this is the problem.
No, well, I think you're the problem. I mean, you come here.
You have a guy. You have a guy.
You're the one that no, listen, caller. You're the one.
Him, man. How many times? Tell me how many times he's fought a guy that has a longer reach than him, taller than him, has level of skill than him. Explain to me, when has he fought a guy just like yesterday with Haney he fought against? Someone that has skill and is bigger than him and taller than him. Open your fucking eyes, guy. It's not about racism.
You don't know shit, man. You look at Floyd's career. He never took on challenges. Floyd never took a real challenge. That guy had to retire in 2007 to avoid. Let me talk. To avoid. I had to mute you, man. Sorry. He had to take a break, retire for some reason at 30 or something, so he wouldn't fight Margarito, Paul Williams, and Miguel Cotto, who was undefeated at the time. So that's a big, asterisk in his career. No, that's only one. There's a lot of them. So for you to come here and say that you have no doubt that Floyd would beat Lomachenko, it's insanity.
No doubt in my mind.
Well, I know. That's fine. That's fine. I think you're being emotional. I think you're a bit emotional here.
Can I respond?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Castillo wasn't a challenge. Morales wasn't a challenge.
Yeah, Castillo beat him.
Cotto wasn't a challenge.
Cotto, no. Hold on.
Canelo wasn't a challenge.
Okay, you're giving me a bunch of names. You gotta let me talk, man. You gotta let me talk here. He fought Cotto. When did he fight Cotto? Did he fight Cotto in 2007, around that era, at that time, or later on, after he had been knocked out by Pacquiao? You
guys can you can nitpick all you want.
Of course we got. Okay,
he fought. I don't want to turn this into a Floyd versus. That's just my opinion. You have your opinion, whatever. But in my opinion,
who won last night? Who did you think won the fight last night?
Who do I think won the fight? I picked Haney to win the fight. In my opinion, honestly, I could have seen a draw. But I was happy with it. The decision was the decision. It was a close fight. They're not going to give the victory to a 35-year-old Lomachenko in a close fight over a 24-year-old Devin Haney. It's just not going to happen.
I got a question because, caller, you said we were being a little bit emotional because we were picking Lomachenko to win.
You're
saying it was a close fight. No, okay, whatever. You are. It was a close fight.
I know. You let somebody finish.
You even said that it was a close fight, and then now we have a consensus outside the ring with even professional boxers, active professional boxers, who have Lomachenko winning. So we weren't being emotional. I think your prediction was just a little bit wrong here because you had Haney winning, and so we weren't a little bit emotional, and I think you were, and I think you even bet money on this, so you almost lost your money because let's be honest, that the guy who should have won it was Lomachenko.
Exactly. The guy who landed the most punches. This is like, listen, hold on, Carl.
More careful.
Loma landed the most punches. He landed the most effective punches. He pushed the pace. 90 seconds. He was hurt multiple times. To say that was a close fight, and why were the Haney supporters were in the crowd silent as hoes in church, and then even the black fighters who were there to support Haney all said he lost 8-4. How's that a close fight? Square that for us.
Could anybody in the history of boxing have beaten the great God Lomachenko?
He's not a god. Nobody says he's a god.
Listen, you know what? You argue like a female, dude. I think I just saw a 16-year-old girl would make a comment like that. Oh, what is everybody like a god?
Nobody
really?
called him a
really
nobody
called him emotion now.
Nobody called. Hold on. Nobody called him a god. That's the thing, though, caller. Nobody called him a god.
Does he have any weaknesses?
Caller. No, he has weaknesses. Nobody's invincible. Even Floyd.
Long periods of inactivity. Periods of inactivity in the
whatever.
ring.
Caller. You had Haney winning. He should have lost the fight. All right, so calm down.
And he won.
Come back to reality.
And I collected my money.
Come back to reality.
And I collected my money.
Yeah, with a robbery. All right, I hope you're happy. But you almost lost your and you called us emotional for predicting a fight that Lomachenko should have won. So I think you should calm down. You're not Nostradamus. You're not better than us. Is that what you think? So, be a little bit more humble next time. And, you should actually take this as an L.
It's all good.
You should take this as an L.
It's all good. I enjoy you guys' show.
All right, take care.
You guys
take care. See you, man.
care.
All right, that guy needs to calm down. He's like, you got your emotional because you're picking Lomachenko. Come on. And then he almost lost his money, but he's like, I don't care. I want my money. It's a robbery. I mean, most people had Lomachenko winning the fight. All right, I think I muted some people because everybody was talking at the same time.
Can you hear me, Bucho?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought it was muted. I didn't know what I mean. Because earlier I didn't think, because the kid just didn't respond to anything I said. And all I said, because I stated facts. He landed the most punch, CompuBox. Who's the one hurt the fight? Haney, okay? All I stated was facts. Fucking Vegas had it a 5-1. By Vegas's odds, Haney had to knock him out to win. Because of those things, he's a god. I said he's a god.
No,
that means by that thing means you couldn't debunk what I said. So now you got to come at it, making me defend something along the lines of emotions.
Yeah, Jimmy, he wants to appear.
He had more punches round by round overall.
He wants to pretend that he's right and that we don't know boxing, and we were like hyping up Lomachenko, and therefore we were wrong. But we never hyped him up. We predicted that he was going to win this fight, and I think most people think that he won the fight. Go ahead, Mr. BDA.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Mr. BDA, how you doing, brother?
Just a reminder that when Bucho's talking with the callers, don't all jump in at the same time, because remember that the connection between Discord and the callers is very flimsy. So if you all start jumping at the same time, it gets even more distorted. I gotta say though, I'm a little disappointed in Chris, because the last caller, because he called last night. And I thought, he was still saying, well, I asked him, are all the guys all the professional fighters that are saying Loma won, are they being emotional? And he said no. So now he's trying to make listen, Jimmy asked him a good question. And instead of answering the question, he answered with sarcasm, well, nobody can defeat the great God Lomachenko. I mean, I think his big problem is what he puts too much emphasis on what people think. And he seems to be, and not only that, but he seems to believe that we said Lomachenko is invincible. We've never said that. That's all, Chris, that's all in your imagination. That's all being fermented in your imagination. We've never said that. In fact, if you go back to 2018, when he fought Linares, there were some people in the chat saying, they were saying, well, Lomachenko could go up to 140 and 147 and beat some of those guys. And I was saying, well, let's wait and see what happens with Linares. And I remember after the Linares fight, we said 135 is his limit. With his skill set and with his physical dimensions, forget about 140, forget about 147. So this whole thing about, it's an ad hominem attack. I think people feel, shit, Lomachenko won, I was wrong. He was better than Haney. So now let me go attack other people and claim that they were saying that Lomachenko's a god. Nobody here ever said that. And if you interpret it that way, you're wrong. I'm just clarifying that.
BDA, I asked Chris, because he's like, I'm so confident. He said, I'm going to bet on this fight. And I said, oh, because you're so confident. And he's like, yes, I am so confident. After watching the fight, I don't even think that this is what he expected, or else he wouldn't have bet money on this fight, let me tell you. I guarantee you this isn't the way he
You would
was
have to
expected.
make a bet,
So
betting
Chris,
on a robbery.
that was quite a gamble there, I would say. Quite a gamble. I think he got lucky, to be honest.
But I mean, I always got one guy over Lomachenko all the time. Not all the time. It's been for a couple of years that he's better than Lomachenko, and he's in the heavier divisions, light heavyweight division to be specific, and that's Bivol. I think Bivol is a better boxer overall than Lomachenko. He's more composed. He picks his shot better. He's not as entertaining as Lomachenko, but he's better than Lomachenko. That's one guy. I think he's the pound for pound king.
Well, you know what?
I just cut Bucho off. I mean, BDA, go.
That other
Sorry, I was
caller,
saying you wanted to talk.
that other caller that called in too and started saying, Bob Arum called him the Matrix, better than Ali. First of all, I don't think he ever called him better than Ali. I think he said he's the best he's seen since Ali. We'd have to double check that or fact check that. Number two, listen, if you're gonna just tell us who you think won and how you think they won. They always have to add this preamble of Lomachenko was tailored at this guy, that guy. What happened? Whether people said he was a god, whether people said he sucked, whether people said he was worse than Carlos Mausa, just tell us who you thought won and how they won. That's it. Everything else is you're just trying to add more power via rhetorical devices to your flimsy argument.
It's irrelevant, to be honest. But anyways, we have more phone calls.
No, that was Jaime.
What?
You gonna hang around, Bucho, Mr. BDA?
Maybe. I just wanted to drop in and say that.
Okay. Well, no. And that last time I did, I was trying to tell Gypsy that we cut you off, and every time I started to say that, I cut you off. Trying to explain, I cut you off. Sorry about that.
No worries. Let's.
I'm the king of cutting off. Remember?
All right, guys. The phone.
You guys forgot about that?
The what?
I said I'm the king of cutting off. You guys forgot about that?
No, we haven't. We'll never forget about that. And the
You're reminding us.
And all right, guys. Phone call. 202. You're on the air. 202.
Fellas. How's it going?
What's up, man? What's on your mind?
Man, look here. Haney ran out that ring the same way he ran after that push. It was. Can somebody please tell me how a boxer lands the most punches, throws the most punches? He has the most eye-catching punches. He pushes the fighter back, and he dominates a close fight with 2 rounds. He dominates 2 rounds of a close fight, and he don't leave with the title. How does that make sense? That doesn't make any sense, right?
It doesn't, Carlo.
Right. That doesn't make any sense. And on top of that, and then you know what Haney fans are so mad about? The fact that the whole time the fight's been promoted, Loma hasn't said anything. Loma has had a stance of, we're gonna do our talking in the ring. And he literally, it was a close fight, but you can tell it was times in that fight where he manhandled Haney to let him know we're not doing all this wrestling and all this other shit. He manhandled Haney a couple times, like, bro, you might be the bigger fighter, but I'm a grown ass man. If you watch that fight, he did it a few times, like, we're not doing none of this.
Excellent point.
It's crazy how people point out, like the last 2 callers are both lame. I don't understand why people throw their age in before they make a dumb comment. I'm 45, blah blah blah. That's stupid. But like I don't understand how people don't grasp the fact that it had nothing to do with being a Loma fan. I'm a big Loma fan, but it had nothing to do with being a Loma fan. The simple fact that man went in that ring, and they say he should have ended the fight or done more. Bro, the man was crying in the locker room after the fight. He put everything he had into this fight. Who are these people to say, Loma he should have done more, he didn't give his all? You get in the ring with Loma then. Like there's no way you can say that man didn't give his all when you see that man busting out crying when he gets to the locker room, because he knew he put his all into the fight. That's crazy.
Great call.
That is crazy. I had it 8-4, honestly. I had it 8-4 because, like I said, them body shots were cool. Haney body shots were on point, and just so I can make sure that last caller before him understand when they say Loma doesn't have the weaknesses. Loma's weakness is the fact that he holds his hands too high, so his body's always exposed to the long torso. So that's for that dumb caller that y'all just had. But other than that, like, bro, like, there's no way Loma lost this fight. It was 8-4. And anybody who says Loma started late is a goddamn water monkey, because there's no way from round 2 to round 12, Loma was on his game. He might have won every round, but from round 2 to round 12, Loma was on the game, because everybody kept saying he needed to start fast. He needed to start fast. He felt Haney out that first time, and then literally, am I the only one? Well, I know you guys probably seen it too. Is it me, or is it the fact that all this jab work everybody was talking about, they're going to keep him behind the jab, blah, blah, blah. I remember I called you guys. I told y'all, Haney needed to have a plan B, C, D, Z for when Loma get past that jab. And he didn't have that plan tonight. Right? I mean, last night. But that shit was, my God. And then, last point, guys. The simple fact that those two judges, or the same judges that gave that Tank Ryan fight a 10-10 in round 2, they're the same judges that was there last night. But I know they can reverse. I know the boxing commission can reverse the decision or something like that. They can, but man, I don't know, bro. Like I said, the fact that I lost money, that's beside the point. I literally watched the man get robbed. Who's a better fighter last night?
Yeah, exactly. It was Lomachenko.
Absolutely.
Well, anyway, caller, thanks for calling. All right.
What did the caller say? A water monkey?
Yeah, listen. This call is becoming one of my favorite callers. I think it's like the third or fourth time he's called. He's always makes very distinct, excellent points, man. I hope he calls back more often.
Oh, I'm sorry. Last point. I told y'all. If Haney kept giving up, if Haney fall back into that shell defense like he always do too early, Loma was gonna eat that space up, and he did that the whole night, man. All right, man. But y'all have a great show, man.
All right, take care, man.
Thank you, brother.
See ya. All right.
Yeah, he's a great caller. He did say that. He said that. He better have extra plans, because he's right. The jab stopped working by the 5th round. Remember, they were talking about it. Why did he get away from the jab? And fucking, what's his name? The smaller guy. I can't remember. I always forget his name. Taylor. No. What's his name? The bald guy. Thank you, Bradley. Thank you. Fuck. Bradley said he got away from the jab because Loma figured it out. He's eating that left hand every time he throws it. He would throw the jab and boom, Loma would fucking shoot off that left hand. He was snapping his head back. Guys, and he didn't know what else to do after that. That's why he went to the body after that.
All right, guys. We got 4 phone calls here, and we've been here more than 3 hours, and I gotta upload this episode on Spotify and iTunes. So we gotta go through these phone calls.
Wow,
and I don't
you still
even know
got more calls. Wow, holy
it's
shit!
Insane, man. All right, callers, I'll give you a minute or something like that, so you guys can say what you need to say. All right. 808, you're on the air. 808. Hold on, man. We don't take phone calls. 808, go ahead.
Yeah, how you guys doing? Calling in from Hawaii. It was, I think what we get past, and we can't see it now, is just how excellent this fight was from beginning to the end. My first question going into it was whether Haney would be able to, will be able to deal with the physicality from what we've seen from Haney before, and he answered that question excellently. Right in from there, he nullified the physicality that Haney wanted to bring. Then we go from that. We're going round by round. Haney fought a fight where he fought essentially to survive, kind of not to lose the fight, and it was a very intelligent way to fight because he just wanted to be able to kind of throw that uppercut to the body, try to neutralize whatever Loma was trying to do to him. But Loma pushed the pace. And about halfway through it, I had Loma winning the second and the third round. About halfway through it, I'm like, I could, because I watched it after it all happened. I was like, I could kind of see where people are saying that maybe Haney won the fight. But then from about halfway through, I saw Loma just figure out exactly what was going on with Haney, and he just dominated that entire time. And so I just go from there, and I'm just like, wow, man. We get to the end of the fight, I'm like, I could see how it could be, 7-5 for Loma, but I couldn't see anything coming from a win from Haney. I would think that maybe to help save the kid, help save the money, maybe they would go with a draw, but anything other than that was out of bounds.
So when I saw them give it to Haney, I was like, yeah, man. I mean, you can see the corruption that's going on. But as far as the physicality, Loma definitely answered all of that. He pushed the pace, and I mean, Haney just had no answers for it. You could see it in his face. And I think Loma, he was really upset at the end, because I think Loma, by the time we got to maybe about 8, Loma knew what was going on and controlled the fight. And I think Loma might have felt like he could have done more earlier, and maybe he could have pushed it a little more once he seen the kid didn't have anything for him. Mm-hmm. All right, that's all I got to say, guys.
All right, thanks for the call. Take care, man. See ya.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to another phone call. 416, you're on the air. 416.
Yo, what's going on, BDA and panel? Yeah, always loving the show, man. Just a quick response in regards to the couple of callers back. That one dude who fucking went off saying, like, you know, respect Loma, the god, or whatever. There's only one god in boxing, and that's Al Heyman from the PBC.
That's true.
Next thing is the other previous caller. I got to be quick because you're asking me to be quick, BDAs. The other previous caller who said that Tank Davis is his favorite boxer and Errol Spence next. He should understand that probably the federal courts are going to forcify a driver license re-education program for both of those two. So they're going to have to be doing that together in regards to getting a driver's license react. And then going forward, fucking the fact that Loma, as a proper lightweight, just beat and not fully dominated, but beat convincingly a full middleweight, which in Devin Haney, and people are not recognizing the size differential. The other dude he was comparing, comparing Canelo to Floyd. Exactly, they're same height. Look at the height differential between Haney and Loma. Look at the length, the shoulders, and arm reach compared to. Yeah, it's the guy. I don't know where and how these guys make these their eye test kind of comparisons. I think I don't know, man. I think But next thing is, as a couple of guys are stating in the comments, it's great to see that it's not just tribalism with it's a race thing. Black fighters against white fighters and this that and all the other. Some of the black guys are calling in. They're very observant, speculative, and very, very, and they're fans of boxing as purists, pugilism as stated, right? They appreciate, the boxing, the sport itself, not fucking, being fanboys and rah for one fucking fighter just because of his race or ethnicity. It's like there's certain other guys that would be like, yeah, fuck it. If Loma lost, you take it on the chin proper and whatnot. But yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm just ranting, I guess. What are you guys saying?
No, you make a lot of sense, and I just posted a picture on the screen of Floyd when he's fighting Canelo, and he doesn't look that small at all. I mean, I don't know what these people are talking about. I think they need to start being biased and ridiculous. And then we have a picture here of Lomachenko and Devin Haney, and you can clearly see the difference, the size difference. So these people, I mean, they're just fucking liars, outright fucking liars. Anything else?
But
Colin?
Not only that, as you guys stated even before, like the professional boxers, proper fucking professional boxers saying outright, fuck man, Shakur just stepped in the ring and said like, goddamn Loma won the fight. These guys are not listening to it. They're not even like paying attention. But maybe in hope that they make a Shakur Stevenson Haney fight after this, Shakur will he'll probably stomp on Haney's face. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
All right, caller, take care. Thanks for calling. See ya. All right, that was the last phone call, guys. Last phone call. Yeah, and I'm posting. I have this other picture of Lomachenko next to Mikey Garcia. Look at the size difference, guys. Look at this. All right, so people acting like fucking Floyd was a midget when he fought Canelo. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, they're both 5'8", and I believe even Floyd has a longer reach.
And of course, Canelo eventually moved up to 168, but he put on muscle and everything. The frame size at that time of 154, it was about the same.
Exactly, and that's why that whole thing. Well, he should have stopped him. He just went out there and just knocked him out. Because, well, first he's a cherry pick, but yeah, it's not that easy when you're that much smaller. Then you have to get by because of the length and stuff. But it's just, I gotta say, I don't think Haney retired him in the sense that he wanted to. I wouldn't blame him if he just walked away from this shit. But it wasn't, I'm going to retire him. I don't like this guy. He fucked with me for 4 years. That's why I said, when you make up a narrative to get yourself angry, when none of the things that you said happened, which made you get angry, and that's why I don't like him. I want to end him. And I pushed him. Like, he acted like a punk idiot from the time they announced this fight until the time he ran out of the fucking ring under a chorus of boos. But he's got the belts, is all that matters. All right, we'll see.
These people are defending the undefendable. They're the ones that are defending some of the things that are actually hurting the sport of boxing. Unbelievable. It's amazing. Anyways, guys, we should end the show. It's been more than 3 hours. I want to thank everybody who was on the panel. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time, all right?
See you, Mr.
Bucho. Take care, brother.
Hey. Oh, by the way, yeah, it's Bucho. There's Bucho and Mr. BDA on everybody who's calling. But anyways, all right, guys, see ya.
See ya.
Also, I want to thank everybody who's donated via the super chat, everybody who liked the episode, and everybody who joined. And even if we disagree, you should still call back, because this is a debate show, and we want people who disagree with our views as well, so the show is more exciting. Having said that, I want you guys to have a nice day, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
One of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man. I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead. Shoot.
You just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lomito! You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.